We're back. It's very exciting to be here and be able to comment on the games for you. Let me tell you this funny thing that happened yesterday for those of you who weren't here. And, I'll always cherish this moment of being trolled or not checking the DGT, I guess, which today I will definitely be sure to do that. If you're going on US Chess, on chess.com's page for the tournament, by the way, you might be able to see a small issue with the result being shown. Obviously, the game did not finish. The players just started about 15 minutes ago, so the moves should start showing since we have 15 minutes delay. But I just wanted to say this funny thing that happened yesterday for those of you who are here. Hi there, Neander. Welcome back. Welcome back. Great to see you back. Remind me whom you're rooting for in this competition. So what happened yesterday, right? Do you guys remember there were two games that were a bit suspicious looking to me, but I was excited about G4 and H4 being played as the first moves in the games, right? And then it got updated. For one of them, I even completely forgot that there was a G4, and I tried to kind of make it slide like I didn't make a mistake. But for the second one, definitely there was an H4, and there was the setup, and I was telling you that I want to tell my coach to help me prepare for that for World Rapid and Blitz. Very excited. The funny thing was that, those things didn't actually happen. We figured out it was a French after all. And for Carla, that's right. Okay, you might be the person who told Carla that you thought I did a good job. So if that was you, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. I try my best. Glad that I can make a contribution and try to be as impartial and supportive as I can towards everyone, because after all, it's those friendships that help us grow and get better. But a funny thing happened this morning, so I need to be super careful. So the husband of one of the ladies tells me that I hope he doesn't mind that I share this story, but I feel that, it's my mistake. I take responsibility. I don't know how much I can because I didn't think to refresh for some time. But, it seemed that lots of moves were made. So in the past, I remember when the DGT had an error, it usually wouldn't show more moves. It would get stuck. So I guess I need to learn more about DGTs, maybe even learn how to set them up. That would be a great strength to have. As a commentator, you rely on people who are working the DGT boards, and I'm super thankful I didn't say this, besides the organizers of this tournament, who are Maureen and David Grimond, who are sponsoring the event through their business Precision Tune Care. That's why you guys see the logo on the stream. I'm also very thankful for the arbiters of the tournament, a very nice couple, Karen and Enrique. And also our DGT guy, Matt Grosset, who's also known for being a part of Chess Dogs. So for those of you who don't know, he's behind everything that has to do with DGT boards. And basically, let me get back to explaining what has happened, and then we'll catch up with the games. I'll tell you about who plays whom, their points so far and everything else. But so the husband of Natalia comes to me this morning when I went for breakfast, and he says, Sabina, you almost killed me yesterday. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm so sorry. And he said that, well, you said on stream that Natalia played G4 first move, and you said she played the grob. And did you know that in Russian language, grob means coffin? So did you want to send me to the coffin or some kind of joke like that? And I was like, oh my God, I need to be careful about these things. Like, now I know some Russian, but I guess I don't know all the words. I didn't know that's what it meant. But anyways, I was commenting on the game, never ever in my life would I want something bad to happen to anyone. But it was just kind of funny. It brought some nice conversations and just, brought some smile on my face in a way that, well, yeah, my mistake, but in a way, also, I guess I learned a new thing. Maybe I should consider playing something fancy like that. So anyways, with that said, let us talk about the pairings and everything else that we've got. So I'm pulling them up just in case. So we basically have on the first board, woman grandmaster Angelina Belakovskaya. And hi, Dirke, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. So woman grandmaster Angelina Belakovskaya plays against Natalia Tsadikova. Natalia had that grob, which was not the grob. What have we got here? We have a Zemish. I used to play the Zemish when I was a kid. Woman FIDE master. By the way, Natalia is, Chess.com does not show her title, but she's a woman FIDE master. She played the King's Indian, and we got no coffins today. Okay, let's try to stick to serious stuff. And after castle, white played the move bishop e3, very typical. Like I said, I used to play these things myself as a kid. Knight g2, a6. So there are various other lines that black could have chosen to play, basically, earlier, not knight c6. I remember as a kid, I was struggling against this move c5, because black technically gives up a pawn. And when you take this, then you trade there, rook takes, and now you take the pawn. So you're saying, wait, I got an extra pawn. But black has sufficient compensation here. And I remember I even played against this grandmaster, Mazet from France, and I lost in a classical game. And then in that same tournament, they had a rapid. And I remember I had analyzed with my dad this line so much that I was able to finally get him. There's some nice games of Karpov, I think, in this line. And I haven't caught up with recent theory of what's going on. But basically, the ideas were that, white would go for this move, knight d5 to close the file. Black would go knight d7, and now white had the opportunity to take this pawn. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was bishop takes, because the bishop is under attack, right? Knight takes, king f8 or something. You would come back to make sure that file got closed, and then black would continue bishop takes b2. You had to move the rook somewhere, and the ideas are that although black has given up a pawn, white is behind in development. So this is certainly a line that I saw quite a lot as a kid, and I felt that it was sharp, double-edged extra pawn, but this king here could get in trouble sometimes if you're trying to bring it to f2. There are checks. Black has the bishop pair as an extra advantage too, and this is just something to be aware of. This other line with knight c6 is also quite interesting, because you have two plans. One of them is to try to go e5, and if d5 would be played, you can actually try to attempt the pawn sacrifice with knight d4, but you also can go for knight to e7 and then proceed with the typical King's Indian plans of playing f5 with black. But there's this other plan that I see Natalia chose to play here after knight g2 a6. This is gonna be followed up by moves like rook b8 and b5. So black tries to attack this queen side, the c4 pawn, not the d pawn, which would mean that if at some point you go d5, you basically want, it depends which line white would choose, so we'll have to wait and see. Actually, what Angelina chose is exactly what I was playing as far as I remember. Rook b8 to rook c1. So the idea would be b5 at some point is going to be met by c5. I don't remember if it was here, probably not. I think maybe it was d5 here and c. No, it wasn't like that. How was it? Maybe playing the kid as a kid makes sense. No, I did not play the kid. I played the Zemish. I was playing this with white, dear kid. I forgot, was it knight g3 the move here maybe? Or is b3 even an option? Oh no, sorry, takes. Sorry, it was takes, and the rook here kind of helps you out. Yeah. I apologize. It's been a while since I played this line. And then, you could try some knight g3, bishop e2, but basically you're trying to focus on this file. So that was a line. But let's see how the game proceeded. So bishop d7 first, yeah, to keep the knight protected to avoid any kind of discoveries. And now it's Angelina's turn. Yeah. I did play the Benoni with black as a kid, and that was not too bad. Actually, I kind of liked it. But yeah, 1 second. But I kind of stopped, and I couldn't tell you what was the exact reason why I stopped playing the Benoni. It's probably because I'm not as strong tactically. Maybe I couldn't, like, sometimes I wouldn't really understand what was the right moment to give up a pawn and try to get the counterplay. So I would typically mess up, and I would prefer to play it with white instead, because I had quite a few nice wins. But this is the current position in these ladies games, and it's still quite early in the opening, so I cannot really say more than this. But like I said, at least with this move, rook c1, you know there won't be long castle, so white's definitely gonna go for plans like knight g3, bishop at e2 castle. As for black, we'll prep b5, and then sometimes they still go for e5 later. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the game proceeds, because it's still quite early in the game. Moving on to the next board, and I'm actually, as I pull it up, I will have my actual live feed on, just to make sure that it is that same opening and I'm not being trolled once again by this system. It seems like this game is correct. I don't want to make that same mistake, You gotta learn. You know what they say? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, or something like that. I'll just mess up that saying. But what have we got here? The game between Beatrice Marinello, women's international master and former president of the U.S. Chess Federation, and also part of FIDE. Has done a lot for chess, as I mentioned yesterday too. She's playing against Jayashri Sekar. She actually had a great unexpected win yesterday. In a way, unexpected because she was worse, but she was able to keep the pressure. And it was women's international master Sharnaz Kennedy, if you remember, who ended up blundering last. So Jayashri is one of the lowest rated here, but rating, like I always say, is always just a number, and you want to try your best no matter the situation. So we had knight f3, e6, c3, knight c6, bishop g5, bishop e7, knight bd2, h6, bishop h4. Okay, so this is so Beatrice decided to play this kind of, I'm not even sure what kind of what would call this. This is like a Colle Torre. It's not Colle because there's no e3. Maybe it's like a Torre with the bishop g5. Interesting. I don't know if it has a name. But the setup is like a Torre or London, I guess. h6, bishop h4, g5, pushing that bishop back. Bishop g3 is going to be played next. And basically white can kind of transpose into a nice pawn structure with 2 pawns in the center, getting this bishop out, and has to think about where to put the king. In some situations, white goes h4, and if g4 is played, you move the knight back, you attract h5 too. So black will struggle a bit with the development of the queen side because, short castle could be dangerous. So you might want to go on the other side. So we'll catch up with this game later as well. Let's see. On board 3, we have women's international master Alexei Ruud. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Alexei is also, let's see if my command works, is also going to write the articles for Chess Life Online. I just shared the link to the first one she just wrote for yesterday's game last night. So feel free to check it out and stay tuned for more from her. I understand she might be doing it after each day, or I don't think each round, I think after each day. So that is something to keep in mind. Okay. So what else have we got here? E4. Women's International Master Alexei Rut against Women FIDE Master Olga Sagalchik. Olga, both of the players are on half point, have drawn their first round. And it was a Sicilian, close Sicilian, okay. G3, G6, Bishop G2. Okay, similar setup to something else we've seen in the past. This is kind of a dragon pawn structure for black. These types of setups, you know, where black delays the development of the knight to f6 are nice because it will allow the opportunity to go some knight e7, which is, I think, oftentimes more flexible for black, because with the knight in d7, if you choose to go knight d4, the other knight can come and, you know, cover this knight and just recapturing d4 with a piece. Though yesterday we have seen women grandmaster Angelina Belakovskaya play knight d4 and capture back with the pawn, and it was a very interesting game, actually. But you know, if you put the knight in e7 compared to f6, you are also allowing this bishop to be open. So who knows, you might be able to do something about it later. So this is something, you know, interesting to keep in mind. So queen d2, knight d4, knight d1. Knight d1 is getting ready to play c3. Here's the thing, like, so I have a student who plays this, and since I'm not an e4 player, I try to learn more about it to be able to help her. But so white needs to be mindful about the c3 push. A lot of people want to do it, but you need to see when is the right moment, because, you know, if white actually will push c3 too soon, at least what I've seen happen. Okay, it happened now. So here in this move order without f4, it actually works better. My student sometimes plays f4. And in those positions, when you play c3 and the pawn is already there, when the knight goes back, b5, b4 happens, and it actually helps black open up the queen side. In these types of positions where the pawns are not, the pawn structure is not set, it's not blocked, it's not stable, there can always be pawn breaks. This is typically how black breaks the position with b5, b4. Opens up the file and tries to bring the play on this side of the board, kind of circle around. As for white, of course, they need to find their path to attack the king side, because you got more space with this pawn. You can go f4 at some point. Yesterday, we've seen Julia O'Neill try to go with h4, h5 as well. That didn't do so much. f4 is more the way to approach. And if f5 will be played, maybe break through with g4 or maybe e5 or make some trades. But certainly you want to do something fast on the king side. So here we'll probably see knight being played back, I'm assuming. I mean, you know, and then maybe f4. Actually, I like the knight in d1, because if you do something like this, the knight can come to f2 and can help with further attacking. Unless f5 is played, then you have to be mindful. But maybe c3 is played at the right moment. So we'll see. Board 4 had some issues. It does show this result. Don't mind it. It's a mistake. The game is still in progress. It's going to be fixed in about 15 minutes or so. We'll have it fixed. So this is not the result. Don't panic, okay? Just to be clear. So the game started, and we have women candidate master, Mary Kuhner, playing against Carla Naylor. Both of the players with half a point. They had nice games yesterday. And we have an Alapin Sicilian. I don't know if it's called delayed because it's c3 third move. I think it's a delayed Alapin. And of course, the plans for this, for those of you who are struggling to memorize things and you want some opening that's not too tactical, more positional, because if you want something tactical against the Sicilian, you can always play the Smith Mora, I think. Though, you know, black can play this line. Maybe it's not so tactical anymore. But if you want something more, you know, positional, I think you can consider the Alapin. Of course, there are some lines, the transpositions to maybe the French here, like this for black, but you can also try the delayed Alapin. Ideas are anyways the same. You want to try to get your second pawn in the center that'll be supported by another one. And the idea is to try to get more space with white. You're rooting for Mary. Okay, sounds good. I think we have someone in this stream right now who's rooting for Mary and someone who's rooting for Carla. So, okay. I'm not rooting. I sure root for anyone, right? I should be impartial. We talked about this yesterday. Anyway, so what have we got here? Knight f3, d6, c3, knight f6. Okay, so the point of this move order is for black to put pressure on this pawn in the center. So now if you go d4, this pawn is going to be, you know, an issue. You got to be mindful not to lose it. But h3 was played, and you can say, what is that the blunder? Did white blunder the pawn? Well, no. Right? It's a trap. I almost one time, I remember I was so tired and I was doing commentary and I didn't understand what happened. For a second I was like, did white just blunder the pawn? But no, guys, this is not a blunder. You see, this diagonal is opened, right? So we're going to take advantage of the fact that this knight is hanging, so we can go queen a4 check knight. This is a very famous trap in the Sicilian that you should not fall for, okay? So h3 is against bishop g4, and white is delaying, you know, one more move to protect their pawn, and then they'll decide what to do. And funny thing is, I see here, looks like that result disappeared also, which is nice, because you guys won't panic. So in this position, because this pawn is attacked, right? And we know white wants to play d4, and they don't want to play d3, d4. They want to make a useful move. But typically, when you learn to play chess, you're told never to put your bishops in front of a central pawn, right? That's a clear idea your coaches have told you, I'm sure. But in this line, it's an exception. White does play this move to protect the pawn. And the idea is the bishop will retreat to c2. That way, the bishop has developed, still keeps the pawn protected, and white will continue the support of this pawn in the center. So it's just a small delay into getting the move that you want. So something to be mindful about and keep in mind. Normally you don't do it, but there are exceptions. So don't doubt that. e5, nice choice by Carla, just trying to keep this bishop restricted and have more, you know, control in the center. Bishop c2 and d5. Okay, so she's trying to transpose to a position where she is going to be the one who has some control in the center. Bam, bam, bam. And bishop f5. I'm not sure if this bam trade had to happen. But what else? Could we? I was going to say, could we castle and after this go here? But probably, you know, not so much. I wouldn't want to deal with figuring out how to get that pawn back. So that's not the way to go. I wonder if you can just take. And now instead of d3, if I could try to go d4, I would really love it if this move would work. It's probably not. That's good. Maybe queen e2. And just, I think it's a bit more flexible than d3. Because you still may want to play d4, and this is again something you try to avoid a couple moves later, and now you're playing it. So, you know, you just kind of admitted, okay, black will stay with the space and I'll be more restricted. This is like a Philidor in a way with reverse colors, but there's also the pawn in c5. And then we have ideas like this with white, castle, rook e1, put pressure on the e5 pawn and just try to attack a bit while black still needs to develop. So we'll have to see how the game continues. Again, the result is not correct. Don't panic. The game is still in progress. Let's move on to board 5, where we have women candidate master Natasha Christensen playing against women's international master Kennedy Shernaz. Another, Smith Mora. Apologies. Okay, let's see. Let me double check the game. Yes, it was a Smith Mora. It was. Okay. Okay, so Smith Mora. So I was telling you guys that this is basically something that you could play if you want more sharp chess. I believe Natasha is a more sharp tactical chess player, so this is definitely something up her alley. I think, and Shernaz decided to accept the gambit. Okay, let's see. Knight takes e3, e6. Okay, so this is somewhere the e6 is kind of good. It's against, I think, against Amora in a way, because usually we see ideas with bishop c4 putting pressure in f7 and having some tactical ideas of sacrifices and such, but in this situation at e6 you're totally blocking those ideas, and you might even have some ways to go d5. If I'm not mistaken, this was certainly a line that my dad has shown me how to play against the Mora, but I was kind of scared to take the pawn at the time. You know what I was telling you yesterday, you know, you don't always go for the material, you follow your heart. So this was my heart following idea. And then knight d7, knight g6. So the plans are you take your knight out first, you keep your king safe. It's not going to be in f6 because f6 is a great attraction for white to play e5 and push your knight back, which will take it away from the defense of the king. And with the pawn here, you're also keeping this pawn in d7 as a backwards pawn. So it really would help white with potential attacking ideas, and it will make up for the fact that they sacked the pawn. So here after knight e7, bishop g5. It says bishop c4 is a mistake. I do not know the theory. Does anyone in the chat know the theory for this? For this line? Don't hesitate to let me know, you know. It's always nice to be nice to your fellow commentators. Or not. I do not know. I don't think it's that mistake, because you want to stop. Okay. I don't find it a mistake per se. I don't know why the engine is evaluating it like that. This a bit suspicious to me. That's a very natural move. White always does that. Queen c7, bishop e3, knight g6, castle h6. Of course, black is trying to avoid pushing this pawn, because if you push this, then this will be a bit weak and you won't be able to push the d pawn, since, you know, we got some pressure there. So that's why black is trying to push that bishop back so that the bishop in f8 could be developed, and then castle, rook c1, b5. B5 might be a bit premature. Is knight d5 an option that's scary here? With the rook in c1? I don't know if queen c7 actually was the right approach. Maybe it's b5. Could b5 have been played here? You know, as soon as I said b5, I was like, oh my god, am I blundering something like this? But we're not. No, we're not. We have this cute check. Cute. And then the bishop's hanging, right? So, you know, you think you have knight d6 mate, but unfortunately, we only get to play one move at a time. So that wouldn't work. So the bishop probably has to go back, and at least I think black can get some development. I'm not the biggest fan of this queen c7. I'm not the biggest fan at all. But I don't know if should f6 been played? I know I said no, but do we want to play it? Maybe just h6 immediately. go away bishop, and maybe g5, and then maybe this. Followed by castle and such. This could be something I would consider. Of course, you know, when you're playing against sharp openings and you do take the pawn, I think it's important to know a few ideas. Otherwise, you might be playing things that are unclear. So queen c7, bishop b3. So we got into this position, and Natasha played the move knight d5, which the chess.com really likes. It's, you know, I have a student who always, I put good move whenever he plays he has a good move, and he's always like, come on, the chess.com said it was a brilliant move, why you only said it's a good move? I was like, okay, sure, here it is, a brilliant move, well done, well, fine. You gotta encourage, you gotta be encouraging when you're a coach. But this is a nice idea, particularly because you are trying to open up black's king. White has almost completed development. The last remaining piece to go out is the queen. So now you need to open up files to actually reach the king and try to delay black from castling as much as possible. So after the capture, this does not look very safe for black. Isn't queen takes d5 just winning here? Because you cannot go knight d8 to protect. You cannot go knight d5. How are you going to protect f7? I don't really see a move. And you cannot go d6 also. Of course, your knight is hanging. So, oh, Natasha took with the pawn. I don't know how much time she spent, but she took with the pawn, which, okay, is not as decisive, but this seems super decisive. I'm surprised chess.com doesn't say this is to be a blunder, because it's just game over after queen d5. Black needs to move the queen somewhere here. Should we go just no back? There's bishop e6 and oh, oh, sad story. This would be a sad story. So where do we move the queen? Not to get a trap, queen b7, but it does look kind of like. See, this is the issue. If you don't know the right kind of setup when you take the pawn, you can get into very difficult situations. That's why, you know, gambits are tricky, and you need to make sure you know how to deal with them. You always make sure you have an idea how to deal with gambits. Okay, so what have we got here? E takes d5. E takes d5, bishop b7, rook e1. Okay, but f7 is so weak. I really want to do something about f7. I wish this move worked, but it doesn't. I think black can just take. What is a good move here for white to take advantage of black's king in the center? Just maybe queen e2, but you just queen e2? No. What do you guys think about this position? I mean, of course we can just take the knight back. Bishop takes. Maybe now we can go rook e1, you know, to try to pressure. So after rook e1, black played bishop e7, and that's the current position. How crazy is this idea? How crazy is it? And is there a difference if we were to play queen e2 instead of rook e1 if black castled? Yeah, that's why we go d takes c6. Just take the piece back and then do something like rook e1 or queen e2. Because now if you castle, I have the feeling, well, the worst comes to worst, you just take the free pawn. But here bishop e7, black is trying really fast to capture, doesn't mind the loss of the knight, I guess. But this is not looking good for black, unfortunately, for her. Because after this, the king will be bound to stay in the center, right? We have pressure in e7, you can't castle. So you have to stay in the center, and it's going to be a tough position to defend. We'll be back to this game and see what happens. Let's catch up with the final game. Did you have a banco? Let me double check. One moment. Yep. Okay. So all games are correct. Thank you. Besides board 4, the game between Mary Kuhner and Carla Naylor, that game shows that white won, but the result is not correct. So don't panic. The game is still in progress. Oops, what did I do? I don't know what I did, but we're fine. That game is still in progress. Okay. So this board 4, Brenda against Julia, we had a banco. All right, so I remember as a kid, actually I have good memories where I played against the banco. The first woman grandmaster that I won against, I think it was the first title player ever. I was playing in Bundesliga. Bundesliga is the German league. I was playing for this team, and I played against woman grandmaster. Maybe she's an international master too, Jelena Sedina, who plays for Italy. And I remember she played the banco against me, and I had this set up with, so here a6 takes, g6, knight c3. That's what I had played too, but I didn't go for e4, which is the move that Brenda chose for this position. I went for this other system with knight f3, g3, bishop g2, castle. And I remember, whenever this knight was trying to come towards c4, you would play b3, but in order to play b3, you had to put the rook in b1. And then plans are, you usually set up your queen to c2, you get this knight to h4 and, e4 and so on. That's quite a nice plan against the banco. At least it was in my time. I haven't checked up on it these days. I try to avoid capturing pawns and gambits in regular games. I do still, but it depends. So basically, at some point in that particular game against, Jelena Sedina, I played a g4. And I remember she was the kind of player that would get in time trouble. So my g4 was a terrible move, okay? It was a very bad move. I was supposed to be losing, but she was in time trouble. She was under pressure. It was a team competition. You had to be careful. And I somehow was able to win that game. To this day, I remember how great I felt because it was my first, I must have been 14 or something like that, 13, 14 years old. And, beating my first title player, although I had been, rated for a while myself, but that was just, a great win for me. And after that, I played a few other tournaments where I beat other title players, and G4 became kind of part of my, move that I would play and win the game. But it all started with a banco. Interestingly enough, the first grandmaster that I beat, I also beat in a banco. His name was what was his name? There's a French grandmaster. I forgot his name. I should check my database. But it was a Benko as well. And it gives me nice memories to this G4 move at some point in the game. So we'll see if you see it in this game also, but this is a different system. So this system with E4, and there's a nuance if for those of you who don't know. So longer time ago, people would capture in A6, but I think the reason people delay it is they want to make sure they see where you place the knight. I think there's something better that white can do if black captures here directly. So that's why they're trying to play G6 first, to wait for you to play knight C3, and then they typically capture the pawn. Now I see black delayed it one more move, which allowed E4, but if black captured here, then there's a line with E4, bishop takes F1, and then, G3, king G2, white will castle by pieces, get the knight out, get the rook out, and just kind of focus in the center and just try to get what you want with white. The pawn structure wise is something like that. And the reason for it is you got this extra pawn, and with these two open files that black has, they're definitely going to put pressure here. Those two files combined with the bishop on the diagonal create some kind of struggle for white against this setup. So and also there's pressure here. That's why usually I like the systems with G3, bishop G2, because this pawn gets to be protected. This way you can't go knight B5 that easily. So anyways, that is kind of approach that you want to get with white. As for black, you're trying to stop that, and you also have ideas when white plays B3 to break through with C4. So if you're ever thinking of playing the Benko, just or playing against it, just make sure you try to understand the ideas behind it. Don't just memorize, the moves one by one. People tend to do that, but if your opponent surprises you with something, then you just won't know anymore what to do, and that's how people tend to make more and more mistakes. So try to make sure you understand the reasons behind specific moves that are being played, and don't just do them automatically, like, computer. I think we love human thinking, creatively and such. So knight takes A6, and now knight F3 was played. Okay. Knight takes A6 actually interesting. I'm not sure if I like knight takes or rook takes here. Maybe rook takes doesn't do that much, because then this knight can come through D7. I know I haven't seen really the position like this, because usually I think black should not let white play E4. They should get something in return if white plays here, because you gave up a pawn and then you're also trading that bishop, but without getting white to uncastle. So that's why I like to take it here, the second move. So let's see if black has gotten sufficient compensation in this game. A4, knight D7, rook A3. Okay, knight B4, queen E2. Okay, very typical. Knight B5. So white is actually going for the setup, and notice Brenda didn't touch the B pawn. The reason for it is she's trying to keep some flexibility for the rook. Now, I've seen recently another game that was played in a similar fashion, not in this tournament, another one. And, I think it was one of my students. And white at some point played B3 and got the rook stuck there. I don't recommend it. Make sure you remember your rook. And if you do end up playing B3, get your rook out of there fast. You don't want a stuck rook in A3. It's not ideal. No stuck piece is ideal in any situation. B3, queen B6. Okay, queen B6. I'm not sure what her plan is. C4 is definitely a move to be considered. You might not play it too soon. Actually, how would this move be looking here? And then if you take the idea is knight B6, I think. Black needs to try to create a counterplay, like I told you. You can't just sit and wait. You need to find some ways to create your counterplay in a way. So, yeah. And queen b6, I'm not sure what is the idea behind the move. Maybe 95. No, but 95 will allow the trade, and then maybe f4. Actually, can I go bishop b2 also? Try to trade that bishop. Yeah, white should consider after b3, bishop b2, because if we get the bishop traded or blocked, then we can certainly bring the rook back into play. But this is a break you always want to be mindful for. In blitz games, I've often failed to stop c4. It's kind of in your territory as white, so you're thinking you want to find a way to stop it, but it's easier said than done because, you know, black can just sack the pawn and try to create a way to get it back. But if black doesn't play c4, so the reason, you know, this move is probably a bit suspicious is that you have to be mindful about this move. You know, knight d2, knight c4. And imagine getting those two knights there, right? I mean, if you play some random move, okay, I don't want to, you know, play a bad move for black, but just to kind of show you, this would be really, really powerful for white because now you don't have a counterplay there. I'm totally safe, so I can actually focus on the king side, right? Like, you know, I'm happy here. I won the battle, I won the pawn, and I stabilized the position. You can't break through. Now I can focus on my king side attack. And black doesn't have sufficient space to actually do something. e6 will also be dangerous because this pawn will be hanging. So this is something that you have to always be careful about. That's why that move is, I think, a bit scary. White played, but not my move, but bishop b2. Okay, this is a nice move too. Trying to trade the defender, and then, you know, if that bishop gets traded, queen takes back. But there will still be ideas with c4, and I think black needs to find a way to eventually play it. All right, well, we went through part of this. How do you guys think? What do you guys think about the games? Do you have a particular game that you want me to go through? Again, do you have any questions for me? For the players, I have done a few interviews yesterday, as I was mentioning to you, and I want to, I don't know when they'll be posted, but if they will be posted, I'll certainly check them. But if not, Steven, hey, thanks so much for stopping by. How are you doing? Great to see you again on stream. Please follow US Chess, and actually I'll leave this command as well. Because promotion never hurt anyone, right? Check out my own Twitch channel, but also check out this second link that I just posted. It's I started creating these podcasts / video learning lessons and learning about new chess players, and I would love it if you would give a follow to that, and hopefully I can create more in the future with US Chess. I have a few additional ideas that we'll see if they could work. I would love it if you would check them out, and of course follow, subscribe to US Chess on YouTube as well. Typically the streams will be done, as far as I know for now, on Twitch, but extra content is posted weekly, if not daily, not really daily, but weekly on US Chess YouTube page. So it would be nice if you guys could subscribe and support the various content creators who share their knowledge about chess or their experience, or things like that. So that is mine. That's particularly to my own thing that I do with US Chess, but you can always follow Summer Star. Thank you so much for the raid. I don't know if we have a command to follow. Let's see. There should be. Let's see, does it work? Oh, we don't have a command. How do I create that command? Someone who's a mod. I didn't do that, I guess. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Shout out to Summerstar. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a great stream. You are currently watching the commentary for the second edition of the US Senior Women's Chess Championship that takes place in Utah. And you just went over all of the games. And now we're starting all over to catch up with what happened in those games. Hi there, Glorified Bozo. I'm pretty sure I remember you. Weren't you on my personal stream at some point? Welcome again, everyone. So, you don't think so? Okay, maybe you are here on US Chess. And Alexandra, oh my goodness, and I don't have the shout out created. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Alexandra. Welcome, everyone. I appreciate it. Dirke, how do I make the command? How do I make the shout out command? Because I don't have it and I feel so bad. See, I have it on my channel. Shout out in chat. Okay, slash. Okay. Oh, like that. I thought it was exclamation point. Okay. Let me do it. Let me do it. Okay, did this one go through? Yes. Okay, so now we're gonna give one to Alexandra as well. Thanks. Thanks, Dirge. I need to get some moderators for this channel. Oh, I cannot give two. Oh my god. I can't give two shout outs? Come on. Come on. Okay, Alexandra, you're gonna get the shout out in 40 something seconds because apparently I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Welcome, everyone. So you're currently two raids back to back. I don't think that's ever happened to me, even on my channel. I highly appreciate it. I'm trying to help grow the yes, don't worry, it's coming. It just okay, now can I do it? I have to wait 59 seconds? Come on. Okay. Great to see all of you. Yes, I'm trying to help increase the viewership on US Chess Twitch page. And very excited to have all of you here. Feel free to follow my own channel too, but for now, we'll be here. You did a shout out? Okay, great. Nice to be here. Okay. So I'm doing commentary for the second edition of the US Senior Women's Chess Championship. It's a closed tournament with 5 rounds. It takes place in Salt Lake City, Utah. And yeah, I have Streamlabs. I'm using the same thing as I use when I stream. But yeah, I put the commands myself yesterday, and I guess I need to add more stuff. And I need some mods for this channel, but you know, it's not my channel, so I need to ask for approval and stuff. So if any of you is willing to be a mod, let me know and I'll get the approval. Get to work. Thanks. But anyways, how is everyone doing? I hope. How are you feeling about the recently concluded World Championship? It was kind of very exciting. You nominate Dirke? I know. I feel like Dirke is on every channel. I feel that I've already asked him. You know, I think everyone asks him. Wrong time zone. Yeah, well, in Utah right now, it's another -2. So technically from Eastern time is another -2 hours. It's mountain time. So to Netherlands, I think it's 8 hours. So that's quite a lot. But it's okay. I usually, I'm usually on the East Coast. It's just this this tournament is on another side of the country. So I'm here. Okay, can we give the shout out to Alexandra now? Yes, Alexandra got the shout out too. Sorry about that. I'm glad you let me know about it, Dirk. I gotta figure out extra things. But okay, let's catch up with top board. So women grandmaster Angelina Belakovskaya playing against woman FIDE master Natalia Tsodikova, and they had this Zemish that I was talking about earlier. Plans are quite typical here for white knight g3, bishop e2 castle. Black is trying to play b5, so let's see how they proceeded. h4, yeah, remember, this is quite typical. You're trying to attract h5, but the problem is not that you played h4. Where will you castle? Are you going to be feeling comfortable to castle kingside? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Knight d1. I think I've seen these plans, and then sometimes they go with g3, bishop g2 castle, and white is fine, and then only later pawn pushes will happen. b5 is usually met either with capture or c5, and Angelina chose c5 here. Okay, yeah. This is theory. I remember. I used to play this with white. I used to play it. e5, d5, knight e7. So far, so good. So with this final, past few moves, black will now attempt to figure out a way to get c6. f5, I don't know how great they will be. White definitely needs to finish the development like I showed earlier, g3, bishop g2 castle. In my opinion, I don't think g4 would be too much, a bit much. And black is going to try to get that c6 in, and when playing c6, probably not allowing d6. That would be something that you want to remember. I see. Okay. So we'll have to wait and see how everything will continue here. But for now, it's still it's actually the part of the game where you decide how to plan things. White can also attempt after the castle to go rook c1, but I think c6 should be played as soon as possible. We might actually have ideas with knight c8, knight d6 too with black. Or knight c8, bishop f8, chase the rook away. Okay. All right, a few more moves were played in this game. d6. So black did not want to go for d5. Probably she's trying to make sure she controls the e5 square so that white doesn't get, an outpost piece there, e4 there, and e5. So Beatrice is going for some kind of blocking of the position. So I had a nice game in this kind of pawn structure once against a player in the US Championship, but I try to play things like bishop e2 and not be too worried about the capture here. This pawn structure is fine for white. You can even castle and be fine. There's no easy way for black to really open up the position, and black is struggling with the development because with the pawn only in d6, not d5, there's not so much space for both minor pieces. So knight h5, e5. I feel that, I don't know, bishop e2, maybe bishop b5 could be nice. Try to attempt d5 instead. I'm actually not sure if I like this idea as much. But maybe Beatrice wants to go for c4. Okay. g4, knight g1, knight takes g3, h5. Okay. So black protects g4 before threatening to take this pawn. That's why probably e5 was not so quite ideal. But now what happens is you need a few moves with white. You're basically back to the start with the knight, right? So you need a few moves to finish your development, and I'm not sure if you actually want to take here. takes, maybe bishop e5, knight e2. The queen can go to c2 or b3, and then maybe white could even castle along. The knight could go here. Okay, we got some ideas. It's still like a long way to go, but this approach by Jayashri was quite nice. G4. I didn't consider it immediately, but it is certainly the right approach to push the knight back to g1. That's why probably e5 is not even that great, because it allows black to get even more space in the center, on the queen side, on the king side. Sorry. So you see, in positions where you get a lot of center and the opponent gets a bit less, what you need to try to do is focus on the development. So get your center and then find a way to support it with the pieces. Don't advance too much unless you are ready to support everything. Oftentimes we push too many pawns early on in the game and we think everything is going according to plan, but it's kind of weakening. It's kind of weakening everything. By the way, please let me know where you're watching from, and if you have any questions or a particular player you want me to look at. Always happy to interact with the chat as always. So we had that close Sicilian where I was saying there are a few ideas, but it looks like white Alexei decided to be more aggressive and go for the trading of the dark square bishop. And it's interesting because I've seen people castle here without much worry. You don't know any of them? Well, it's a senior women's championship. Some of them are very famous in the US, former US women's champions, like Alexei Ruth was a US women's champion. Angelina Belakovskaya was a women's champion. I don't know if Beatrice won any US women's championships actually, but she was always one at the top, maybe 20, 30 years ago. You're in South Carolina. Cool. South Carolina is a great place to be. So there are quite a few events organized there. And I think David Grimond is doing quite a bit in South Carolina as well. So this tournament is put together by him and his wife, mostly Maureen. She supported the whole event and kind of helped put it together close to the end of the year, but it's nice to still have it. And I hope it continues to be, an annual thing, because it is nice to continue support the players later. I mean, we see great results by the youngsters. And of course, there's always this saying that kids are the future, and we have to support them. But I think in the same time, it is very important to find ways to have tournaments for everyone. I like that actually in Charlotte they have this tournament. It's called Alto, which means at least 21. So kids cannot, if you're below 21, you cannot compete in it, which is kind of sometimes a bit more relaxing because kids have way more time to spend on chess and memorize all these openings, while adults are not the best at putting sufficient time, which some do. Okay, sometimes you have more enterprising chess when you don't know as much of the theory, because you get to be more creative, I think. So I miss that part of chess sometimes, because I kind of grew up without the computers, and sometimes it's hard to adapt to everything. So it looks like Alexei was repeating here. Ooh, and Olga decided not to repeat. Well, Olga is the higher rated player. Interesting. So how many times was this position repeated? So this is once. No, I guess it wasn't 3 times. Twice. Okay, so now Olga said, you know what? I'm not going to trade. I'm going to go for knight g8. Okay. All right, knight g8. Not the best approach according to the engine, but she wants a game. She doesn't want to settle for a draw, and I understand her. Bishop takes f6, queen takes f6. Okay. Maybe you would have wanted to take with the knight, but okay. Knight e3, h5, h4. Okay. So, are we anticipating a long castle for black? Bishop d7 and maybe long castle? Or are we still thinking black's gonna go for short castle, like knight e7 and short castle? What do you guys think? And then is white going to attempt some... Hey, Aliat, how are you doing? I got your messages. All good. Everything is going good. Okay. It's interesting also the time difference. I'm curious how this game will continue, but I feel that Olga is definitely gonna try to go for a push. It's always interesting, these types of positions where pawns are not defined, you don't have a pawn structure that's defined, like blocked or, stable in a way. There's always breakthrough ideas, right? So white has some idea to consider d4, or maybe try g4, or maybe f4, knight f3, and who knows, e5, but usually it's d4 or f4, something like that is for black. If this queen moves away, there's f5, there's d5. So you have various ways to break through, and it's always interesting to see how the game progresses, because you make the decisions based on your opponent, and there's a lot of strategic thinking as to how you can push further to get even more. What is the most interesting game right now? The most interesting... What happened to this game? The most... Okay, you told me that there is some issue, but I didn't think it was that bad of an issue. Okay, let's fix this. Did I fix it? Yep, looks good. Okay, the most interesting was that game between... Okay, it disappeared. Not this one. What happened? This was the most interesting game between Natasha and Shernaz. Oh my goodness, how many games do I have, Aliat? Like 9 games, whatever happened. This is a bit too much. Okay, so this is definitely board 6. I just refreshed and I got 10 games. I just did the refresh. Let's do it again, I guess. How many games do we? Still 10. Still 10. We don't want... Okay, here. We don't want the engine. Okay. Well, looks like this game is... Oh, just finished. Oh. But... Okay, let's review this game. This was an interesting game that was played between Brenda and Julia. So it was... This game is definitely interesting, and the other one, the Smith-Mora, which I definitely want to see how it went. But we'll start with this. Maybe I'll have two games that will be clipped. So this was board 6. Let me confirm. Yeah, this was board 6 in round 2, and it started as Benko or Volga, depends where you're from. It has double name. It has a double name. And I was mentioning the importance of knowing the ideas of what you want to achieve with both white and black. So every time you're learning a new opening, just make sure that you know what you're trying to get out of it and what you're trying to not allow your opponent to get for themselves. So here white gets to take the pawn, but what black gets from that is 2 open files that they try to bring their rooks on fast. They get a slightly faster development, and then they get a fianchettoed bishop that looks from further away on this diagonal, and it kind of basically puts a lot of pressure on white. So with white, the attempt to getting a good game, a very comfortable game, is to set up a pawn structure like this with, let's make another color, b3, a4, get your knight to b5, and if you can get this other knight to c4, then you're set. You've stabilized. Chess.com. What are you doing? Let's go back. Apologies. You've stabilized the position, right? Okay, so I was saying this, right? Get a knight here. So you stabilize the position. If the pawn is blocked on c5, you stabilize the position, and after that, you can focus on a kingside attack. With black, a typical idea is to utilize that diagonal to make it difficult for white to push the b3 pawn. And then if somehow, under some circumstance, they manage to play b3, then you definitely want to find a way to go c4 to destroy those pawns, those 2 protected pawns there. And then if you destroy that, then a4 becomes weak. So you're trying to get one of those pawns to go away. And then if, you know, the c pawn gets traded for the a, and then we got a pawn in c4, it's going to be a backwards pawn that black gets to put pressure on. And it's typically difficult for white to defend. There are tons of lines that white can play. Knight c3 is the most natural one. And I was mentioning when I first saw the game that d6 is, in my opinion, not the best move. Of course, you know, there's various things that can happen in this is not the, these are not the players for this game, by the way. It's Julia O'Neill. Chess.com. The names got messed up, Elliot. Okay, let's refresh one more time because I really want to make sure that I... No, it still shows the wrong name. Oh, it's not gonna look good if it doesn't show the right name. It showed that game also finished. I don't understand. Yeah, we have the messed up names. Aliat. Okay, I'm gonna text. I'm gonna text the arbiter and find out what's going on. It's not fun when things like that happen, but we can't, maybe I should take a short break and wait a bit for this to get fixed. Because I want to make sure you guys are looking at the right game. I know some of the husbands of these ladies are watching the games, and I don't want to give anyone any heart attack anymore. I almost did yesterday, I know, and I apologized about it, but I don't want to do that again. So, guys, I'm sorry. I will be taking a short break until everything gets refreshed properly, and I will be back. I'll try to see if I can give you the feed. Let's see if I can give you the feed of the... Let's see. Yes, I should be able to give you the feed if it works. So you guys can see the players play in the current position. So I'm gonna do that. Just give me a moment. That'll be a nice way to, you know, avoid scaring anyone with positions that are not actually played by those specific people. Okay, let's see. Yep. I'll get the feed. All right. We'll take a short break, and then I'll be back with an updated, good-looking chess.com name and everything. I'll make sure it's correct. So see you guys maybe in like 7 to 10 minutes. Thanks for staying close. Bye for now. Welcome back, everyone. Looks like my refreshing and everything froze the stream, so my fault. Some of you might have just left for a moment, but I'm back. The games are back as well. I don't know what happened. Streamlabs decided to freeze on me. I think I won't be putting the background video of the players anymore, because I think that's that might have been too much for the stream. So unfortunately, there's not access to that. Maybe I'll put the link so you guys can check the live feed of the actual. There's a camera looking over all of the boards. So, but it froze. So I'm back now. So thank God. And the games are back too. We have a result, and I wanted to, you know, start over and explaining this particular game because it was an interesting opening, and I think White was quite knowledgeable about the plans that she had to do. In this case, it was Brenda, and I checked all of the games. They seem to be correct at this point. So let's hope we're not going to deal with changes. It's my first time having to do the stream on US Chess by myself. So I'm a bit nervous about, you know, I was a bit nervous about everything, but it looks like, you know, of course something was going to happen. But I appreciate your guys' support for being here and supporting your favorite players, or just being here for me as I struggled through technology issues. But I'm on my own, so I try my best. It's all about promotion, right? Promoting chess, specifically women chess. So, you know, I'm excited to be here and share a bit of my knowledge. And, you know, I know if you might look at the ratings and stuff, you might think the players are not so strong, but they used to be stronger as they were, you know, younger. And I just really appreciate and support. I love seeing them coming back and competing now after years of maybe taking a break, but just really finding their passion for chess is just kind of exciting to me. And you know, I love being able to talk about it. And you know how it is in chess. I don't think that necessarily you always have to look at the strongest players' games to learn something. You can always learn from a game as long as you're willing to try to understand what's going on the board and take the lessons. Hi there, chess champion. So this particular game started as a Benko or Volga gambit. This is quite typical. I will re-say what I said earlier. Basically, black is sacking the pawn in order to open up those files and put pressure in combination with the bishop in g7 after g6, and fianchettoing the bishop in g7 is played. While for white is trying to stabilize the position on the queen side in order to be able to focus on the king side further. So what white usually wants to do is play b3, a4, bring this knight to b5, and possibly, you know, this is in an ideal world, get the other knight to c4. That way there's no pawn break with c4 for black, and white can focus on a king side attack due to the very limited or little space that black would have on the king side. As for black, they need to put pressure on those two pawns to attract some pushes. And when a3, b4 is played, Black always wants to keep in mind the c4 pawn break that destroys white's chain of pawns here and tries to trade the c pawn for the a pawn. So this way, there will clearly be a weakness on c4 that black will then target and try to win because it's a backwards pawn. These are the ideas in theory. In practice, it's always different and difficult, and you have to know how to deal with things. As far as I remember, g6 is actually the best move in the position to try to make sure that white plays the move knight c3. And to my knowledge, bishop takes e6 was the slightly better move order for black, because now if white plays e4, and tries to get a second pawn in the center, black at least gets to trade that bishop and keep white's king in the center. So that will delay a bit the development, because you have to go with a g3, king g2, get your knight out. I forgot exactly which one of those squares get the rook into the game. So that takes a little bit more time rather than just getting the knight out and castling, right? So because black has waited one more move by playing the move d6, it simply allowed white to go e4. So now when you capture the pawn, white will have the opportunity to trade the bishop. So white will still castle, right? That's a great thing to remember about the opening. Black recaptured the knight in a6. And now knight f3, castle, very typical moves. And white was certainly knowledgeable about her setup here with a4, b3, the idea that I mentioned. Of course, you have to be mindful about the opening of the diagonal. So we will see a rook a3 quite fast, right? Keeping the knight protected and just escaping this supposedly scary pin later on, right? So black played knight b4. Other ideas that black can consider doing is actually playing c5. I don't remember if it's here or later, but just to try to kind of stop white from getting that ideal setup with the knight in b5 and b3. Here, after knight b4, queen h2, these are quite some typical moves. Rook c8, I think black was kind of familiar about the ideas of having to play c4, but it was in this moment that things started to go wrong a bit, because if you don't play c4 here and try to destabilize white's knight from b5, white will manage to get the knight there, and then it's difficult. It's difficult to come up with a good plan, because you brought all your pieces on the queen side, but you actually don't have a real target to attack. So here, I think this would have been a nice approach for black to try to continue in the spirit of the opening. Second other pawn, but you're getting it back right away because you got pressures on both a4 and c4. So one of those pawns falls right back, and then the other one will remain weak longer. After queen b6, in my mind, it was knight d2 that had to be played, because the knight comes to c4 now, and we would have succeeded what we wanted. Brenda, however, chose bishop b2, which I thought was nice as well to trade the bishop. And now after the trade, if black does not play c4, I'm not even sure if it works as great now. Maybe no trade, maybe c4 directly, though. This seems like it's gonna lose something. Like maybe we can take and this. The big problem now is the knight here not being protected. So definitely quite a missed opportunity for counter chances for black. And from here on, white seems to have followed the right kind of path. Maybe here c4 could have still been a necessary move to be played. If you don't create your chances, you won't have a chance later. And white made a huge blunder according to the engine. Let's see why that has been made red. f4, yes. Yeah, okay, so that just loses a piece. Yeah, c4 creates this square for the knight. So if you go f4, at least... Oh, you can't even, sorry. It opens up the queen. The queen is in b6. I thought it was in d8. Yeah, so you can't play f4. You probably have to either take or go b4, and this gives black some... Actually, maybe we can go knight c5. I like this better. More pressure on those weaknesses. So unfortunately for her, Julie blundered here the piece because there's knight c4 in between move. The queen has to go, and then this knight is lost. So temporarily, like she probably thought she has knight g4 because, you know, if you capture, it's just a trade. Even this would be a pretty good position for white. But after knight c4, yeah, after the piece was lost, now there's also this idea with knight b6, which I guess Brenda didn't play directly for some reason. Could have been played. She went for rook a1 first and then did it the next move, and now white is on her way to win. So very nicely played by Brenda, and missed opportunity there for Julie. In these, when you're playing these sharp openings, it is very important to be familiar with the tactical ideas, like when you should do them. You need to kind of have a feel for the position. I don't know if Julie, if this is her main opening or not, but if it is, it could certainly be helpful to look into that c4 breakthrough for the future. And if you guys are playing, you know, the Benko or any other kind of opening, just make sure you try to become familiar with the various tactical ideas that are present in the opening that you're studying, because you don't want to, you know, miss opportunities and get into slightly worse positions. Okay, so let's recap what's been going on. Ooh, this was the sharp game. This was the very sharp game. Another very sharp game that we saw earlier, that Smith Mora. And here I thought, you know, Natasha was totally, like, definitely winning a little bit faster after queen takes d5, but she chose to take with the pawn, which still gave black a bit of chances to try to develop. But now she's going for the attack, queen h5. Very sneaky, this idea, threatening the knight, right? Because there's a pin. We're also threatening ideas with bishop takes h6 and knight f5. This is what can happen when the position suddenly opens and you're a bit behind with the development. You're trying to get your pieces to the right place, but yeah, and now she went for bishop takes h6. Oh, this is a gorgeous move, bishop takes h6, definitely. So Natasha might be on her way to win her first game here. Shernaz will have a second loss, but I don't really see a way to defend. Obviously, if you take the bishop, then we're going to have this check here. Queen takes g6, king h8. And what's the fastest mate that we can have? Just take the bishop, right? And queen g7. So you can't take the bishop. And at this point, I think it's very hard to come up with a defense. So this game might be finishing soon. Back to the Carla game. Okay, at least I'm happy that the result doesn't show anymore, because that was probably scary for some of you. When we left off, it was around this position after d3 was played. King, okay, castle h6, queen e2. Maybe rook e1 could have been a slight improvement, or maybe even bishop b3. But okay, queen e2, castle. Okay, so this is interesting. See, as soon as black decided to castle long, what are we dealing with here? Opposite side castling. What's important to do when you're dealing with opposite side castling? Attack. Find a way to open up a file, and if you manage to open up a file, you're gonna be able to start your attack. It doesn't mean it will be over, but you definitely need to find a way to your opponent's king, and it's a race. Becomes a race. It's not a positional game anymore, right? When you see the position like this with black having more space, you're thinking, okay, maybe I'll get the bishop out here, maybe I'll castle, you know, I have time to do everything to support my center. Well, you don't, but you know, that's how you're thinking first. But once you make the decision to castle long, you know you're going to play a fighting, attacking game, because, you know, kings are on opposite sides, and you definitely need to rush with the attack. But queen e2 was the move, and then g5. Yeah, so black is planning for g4 and taking advantage of the fact that the pawn is here, which is called the hook, right? So we want to go g4. force the trade, get the file opened, and put some pressure on white's king. Now you can say black's king looks weaker than white's because the c-pawn is pushed and the diagonal is kind of open, so it seems a bit open, but that's not the only thing that matters. You need to figure out a way for your pieces to actually get to the king, and I don't think it's that easy for white to really build up the attack. d4 was quite interesting because it also opens up this bishop. Chris, how are you doing? So great to see you here. Long time no see. Okay, long time no see. d4. Okay, forcing the bishop to be traded, but black is okay here. Yeah, I like e4. There's a nice way to keep the game from opening. I mean, there was no threat for white here. Or maybe c4. Maybe c4, d5. That would have been an idea. Actually, was this an option? Maybe not. Maybe we can do this. Okay, although there it doesn't threaten the knight. Maybe somewhere else where it threatens the knight. Here? No, here we allow d5. Maybe here? Here. Okay, but knight h2 was played. You are a perfect 100%? How many of them did you play? How many of them did you play, Chris? All of them? Do you have pictures? We need to get the pictures. Oh, one? Ah, that's funny. Wait. One moment. Give me a second. I hope I'm not doing something wrong. I need to confirm. You're one-on-one against Natasha. Okay, okay. So it's not against the whole field. You said against the players. So you made us think that you won against all of them, Chris. But it's okay. That's okay. We'll give it that. That's fine. Okay, let's confirm. Okay. Okay, so what we got? What we got here? Let's get back. Everything is fine. I thought I'm using the wrong link, but I'm using the right link. I think. Okay. Bishop e3. And this is the current position. Was king b8 necessary? What do you guys think? Was king b8 necessary here? Because white doesn't have a threat. We got them pinned. And we can have these ideas with g4 and stuff. So, or, yeah. Should we do it now? Should we go should we go? You know, this would be met by this. But then we can go g3. Maybe we should just go for it. But I think Carla wanted to be a bit cautious, and that's why she went for king b8. Not to be worried about a check, but I guess there's no real check that can happen right now. And this gives white the opportunity to develop a new piece. Maybe knight a3. Oh, is that bad? Oh my goodness, what have I done? Yeah, Natasha is on her way to win, definitely. She's definitely on her way to win. Is c4? Maybe c4. You keep blundering, clearly. Maybe. Could you do this? Ouch! Ouch! I keep blundering for poor white. Yeah. Let's just go bishop e3. Let's not rush into things. Let's just keep everything protected. I tried some approaches. They're not good. Yeah, we need to have that pawn protected. Then we'll figure out how to do. Let's get the knight later. How's the feed? I don't know, Aliat. I keep getting these messages that it's gonna get refreshed, and it gets refreshed, and the names get changed, and I'm a bit panicked. I don't want to show games that are not really there because, I already had, apparently I gave someone a heart attack yesterday, so I don't want to be. I don't want to be responsible for someone thinking that the game is played a certain way and it's not. So I'm very cautious. Looks good here. Looks good. That's good. Okay, we've had some changes in this game. But you guys remember the moment where the players tried to repeat the positions, and it was Olga, who is the higher rated player at the moment, who decided. So let me see if those ratings that show there are correct. Yeah, Olga's 2119 and Alexei 1906. Yeah, those ratings are correct. It's my Wi-Fi? Come on. Hey. No, it's not my Wi-Fi. We're on the same Wi-Fi here, okay? Okay, don't blame me. I got I got the stream frozen because of this thing, so I'm gonna blame someone. I don't know whom I'm gonna blame. But okay, back to the game. So remember when Olga decided to not repeat the positions with bishop g7 and accept the draw, so she played knight g8. A slightly, let's say, dubious choice according to the computer, but I think if you want to try to play for the win, sometimes you have to take some chances. So, you're putting your opponent into a situation, you give them a bit of advantage maybe, but then you say, you know what, let me see what's your plan. Do you know how to utilize this extra advantage to get me? So this is how the game went. Knight e3, h5, h4. And we need to catch up with the rest of the game. So queen e7, very typical. Okay, so I guess Olga decided to put the knight here. Maybe she has ideas. She wasn't sure when she would put the queen, maybe. And also the knight here supports potentially f5. So that could be an alternative to things. Queen g5. You see, this is something that I notice sometimes can happen when we're playing stronger players. And I'm sure it's happened to you. So you see a game and you're thinking, well, I'm going to play against this player who's higher rated than me. I want to play for a draw. Personally, I'm not a fan of that. Like, I've been told to play for a draw. I'm not the best at it either. I don't think you should do it. Because when you play for a draw, you're basically telling yourself that you're not good enough to take on your opponent. Why? Why would you tell that to yourself? Like, what is wrong with you? Is there something wrong? Do you not feel well? Why would you say something negative about yourself, right? So that's the reason why, in my opinion, if you play a game, even if it's someone stronger, obviously draw would be a good result, but I don't think you should play forcingly to try to make it happen. It's happened to me so many times in end games. I would think I would be tired and I would play someone stronger and I would say, I really want to force this to finish the game faster, and I would make a trade or a sacrifice to force things to go towards that result that I wanted, which was the draw. And almost every single time I did that, and I'm not the only one, a few of my friends who played have made that same mistake. They just thought, let's force things. And that led to them losing, because you're simply subconsciously telling yourself you're not good enough. You have to, you can't win. That's what you're telling yourself. And I think you should try to avoid doing that. So from that perspective, why do I say that Alexei is playing for a draw? Because she goes to trade the queen. Like, White has the opportunity to try to build up some kind of attack. Why is she trying to have the queens being traded? This is not going to help her to take advantage of the extra space that she has. So this is something that I think she has to be mindful about. Wait, what are you guys talking about? Oh no. What? Alia, don't put me in a tough spot. That's not true. No, Chris, you're gonna get your drink, okay? I know I owe you a drink. Don't worry. I will see you in New York. I'll be ready. I'll be ready for it. Don't tell things that are not true here, please. Please. We need to. Sabina keeps her word when she can. Always, usually. But remember, if you're getting on her bad side, that means bad. I don't know why I talk about myself in the third person, but that's fine. If you're getting on her bad side, you're gonna have a tough life. And I'm serious, I'm not joking about it. Yeah, I need to be nicer. Yeah. Something to think about. Okay, so obviously, with black, you don't want to capture here because you lose material, right? So this is a mistake because both the knight and this pawn is hanging. So knight g4 is a very natural move to improve a badly placed piece. And if you go for queen takes c7, then of course you're going to help black to get the king out, another development move, everything is covered, and then black's going to think of some way to break through the position. So knight h3 was Alexei's choice. Knight e5. Okay, so considering that knight was in h6, that's a nice kind of trade done by black, and now we have this as the current position. I don't think there's mean arbiters out there. I mean, I guess there might be some. But the ones that join my stream are always nice. Let's just make that statement. Okay, so castle and okay, what is Alexei's choice of plan? Probably I would say d4. I think white should play d4. She still has some ideas to try to improve the position. Maybe for black b5 and still continue playing on the queen side. There's also f6 g5 as an idea at some point possibly, but you have to be careful if you play f6 because you do weaken here. So if d4 is played, you might lose something. So whichever pawn break black is trying to do, she has to be careful about she has to be careful about the pawns that she leaves behind. Mean arbiters don't smile at tournaments. Are you hinting at someone, Elliot? White has to play in the middle. Yeah, I mean, that's clear. I mean, and this bishop needs to open up. Yep, definitely make sure the playing hall is all good. And the players are, in the right spirit. And feel free to let me know if any more games have finished. All right, this game looks different than the moment we left off. Like, we were around here somewhere where Jayashri has found this g4 move that I thought was quite impressive because she's pushing the knight back and taking advantage that, now this pawn in e5 is hanging. So if you make some trades, it's going to help black. And what happened? So she's made some trades. She did not trade the queens. Huh. Interesting. I think this would have been a good choice for black. And I don't know. Is this an option? But in the end, this pawn will be hanging. Okay, so if we go back here, for example, with black, if you take here, you know, maybe this is... No, this would be good for black. No, that would be good for black. So this was a missed opportunity for Joshua because, you know, like this pawn is weak. So she ended up going bishop d7. The reason I'm not fond of this move is because you see, like, okay, you put the bishop here, and where's this queen going? I mean, you want to castle along, right? So in order to get the queen out, you need to move this bishop, right? Move it somewhere, get the queen out, castle. Takes a few more moves. So I don't know if that is something that you want to do. Bishop e2, bam, bam, queen e7, queen f4. Okay, queen f4. How do I feel about queen f4? I don't know how I feel. It's a move. It's funny. I remember there was this commentary once. I don't know who was doing it, but there was... I don't remember who it was, but I remember there was this saying, like, he's, you know, one of the commentators was asking, is that a move? And then the other person who was, you know, working with the engine was like, yeah, that is a move. It sounded funny at the time for me. Yeah, protect e5. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I just, I'm not sure if that's necessarily when I wanted to put the queen there. I was thinking, like, it's a legal move. Yeah, it's a legal move. No, but I was just wondering if this could work, you know, but maybe you just you go for that pawn. I mean, b5 is a threat. I don't know if we want to play a4. Probably not. Yeah, I mean, I like queen f4. I don't know why I'm complaining. It's a decent move protecting the pawn. I feel there's something slightly better here. I just don't know what. Oh, this. A legal move, not pawn takes, but bishop takes. Maybe this could have worked. Yeah, sometimes it's easy to miss those things because you don't expect specific pawns to be hanging, you know, at some point during the game. But yeah, I don't know. I think this pawn could have been captured, but, you know, sometimes you want to be cautious, of course. Castle, castle, and yeah, now you kind of have to. b5. Okay, so Josh did play b5, but might be a little too late now to actually win the pawn. The knight came back to e3, and now b4. Okay. She's playing very strong. I mean, I know I was interviewing her yesterday, and she was mentioning she doesn't play much. She has a low rating. She's the lowest rated in the field, but she's had a nice game yesterday against against whom was it? Against Sharnaz Kennedy, and that was definitely an unexpected result. She was probably very happy about her win, and now she's playing quite well against Beatrice too. It's kind of interesting because with white in this position, you really want to come here to try to mate, but is this possible? Or am I missing some tactic? I feel I'm missing some tactic. Maybe this. Threatening the knight and mate, and you have to go knight c6. The clock should be correct. Yes, the clock should be correct. What can I do here with white? How do we get the knights into play, or how do we bring the rooks? Rook d4? Rook d4 looks cute. Rook d4 looks cute, but I don't know how much you... Oh! It just looks cute. It just looks probably... Can... Is this an option? Yes, if you take queen takes. So if you move the queen, I'll take your rook. Maybe I have something even better than that. It's okay. It's okay. We'll make mistakes. I've made a few of my own. I'm just trying to come up with something fancy. Like, I wish I could go rook d5 or knight d5 or knight f5, but the problem is they just take and the queen is protected. Knight d5, same thing happens. No, this was the move that I was thinking originally, because obviously if you take, it's gonna be bad. So you have to take with the queen, and now I was trying to figure out, could I get rid of that? So maybe we go rook d1 now, and then you have to go queen e8. Maybe this is the line. You have to go queen e8, because if you go queen e7, obviously this is hanging. So you need to go queen e8, and then maybe we can, you know, take. If you take with the queen, you know, same thing, same issue. And then this, okay, this is the issue in this position, unfortunately. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough one for him. For her, sorry. But, oh, bishop b4. Oh, knight e4 was played. Knight e4 was played. So what was I suggesting? Queen c4. Queen c4, but I don't know if we finished all this analysis. I thought that move wasn't good for black. It's probably something better. Maybe black can consider going queen c5 and try to trade queens. That would be something I would consider. Maybe even this to chase the queen away. If you go back, I can also go back if I want to make a draw. Or maybe not. Maybe bishop c6. That's even better, you know. Chase the queen away and come to get better position. But yeah, bishop b4, very interesting. And Beatrice decided to go knight d4. Nice way to improve the position of her knight. Possibly she wants to go to f6, I think. And bishop a3. Ooh, it's nice. It's a nice idea. I'll give her points for creativity. I mean, who cares what the engine says? This is a creative idea. You know, she saw this bishop. She wants to get rid of it. She doesn't like it. She probably realized that there's something wrong with this move, or maybe not. Maybe there was a reason why she didn't like it, because it does seem kind of natural to trade it. And she was saying, you know what, let me just do this. And now I'm threatening some queen b4, you know, since the knight is here, blocks the queen. You know, this is how you think. I mean, yeah, you have to double check and make sure it's not a blunder. But yeah, because if white takes, queen takes, gotta move the king somewhere, then we take. And, you know, suddenly black's king is not that much in danger. It will be white's king that will be attacked on this side of the board, you know. But there's probably something that white can do in this position. Is this the current position that they have? Let's go back and forth and we'll see. Yeah, this is the current position. So Beatrice needs to come up with something, you know. I don't know if it's good, but since I see bishop a3, you know, a nice way to put pressure, bring in the queen and everything, I'm thinking, why can't I do the same thing? You think you can hang a piece? Let me do the same thing. I mean, how... At least it's cute. You know, I had to show it, I guess. You know, it's maybe not the best, but hey... You know, blocking the queen. I lost once a game like that in a US championship. Oh my goodness. It was a nightmare for me, because I was thinking the whole game how I keep getting more advantage, more space, and suddenly I had two rooks protecting each other on the d file, I think it was, and suddenly my opponent puts a piece in between, some knight in the center or bishop in the center, and suddenly I couldn't protect my rook that was left in d2, and there was nothing I could do. I would lose an exchange. It was a devastating loss. Like, it was the last round, and in a tournament, in my opinion, you have a bad tournament, it can happen. You lose a game, you miss it can happen. But when you lose the last game, I feel like it's so painful because you're going home with already a tough memory from the tournament, and then you lose also the last round, and you're like, oh my god, what is happening? Why did everything have to go wrong for me in this tournament? So I usually like to win the last round, of course, but there's that saying, human plans or men plan are human. I want to say human so that it's not, anything else is understood. Human plan, God laughs. Yeah, you guys know that saying? Does it exist in English, or did I just translate it from Romanian and it sounds completely foolish? Knight c4 gets a good tempo. Okay, you don't like my move? Okay, I'll go for yours. Sure, knight c4. My move was giving more advantage to white, though. I don't know. This engine could be broken, so I don't know. Knight c4. I like it. Similar idea. Get rid of the bishop and improve the position of the knight. But no, I really did like that. But there's a move here. I mean, according to this engine, there's a move. Let's try to find it. Come on. Let's try to find this fancy move. Why white could just get a decisive advantage here. What is it? Rook takes d7? No. Because it definitely not takes. Maybe it's knight f6? Knight f6. This was Beatrice's first intention. I'm pretty. Yeah, Chris. I guess we saw it similar time. Or I didn't read your thing. You never said your moves were good, just legal. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be good if you would make an illegal move, right? That would not be good. But I don't think I could catch you with that. I wouldn't want to. It would be a nightmare for both of us. But yeah, just follow her plan. She played knight e4 to play knight f6, and now basically this bishop will be hanging. There's quite a bit of pressure on this bishop in d7 with the knight and the rook being able to come in and take that. So I think that would be nice. And then the queen is coming towards the mate, and I don't know. Can you go bishop c8 now? What would be a good follow-up for white? I mean, maybe white can just trade, and then just take the bishop. Oh, no, not yet. Don't take it just yet. You might even get mated. Is it knight b4 king a8? Rook b8? Okay, scary. Let's improve. Oh, how can I miss this? Oh, no, you have queen b4. Oh, check maybe? Cheeky? No. No, I mean, it's good. Or maybe queen e4? Did I say queen a4? Queen a4. Quite a bit of moves that are pretty good here, yeah. Yeah, we have a move. It looks like rook d3 was played, and the engine is not happy. But it's a natural move. I mean, it's a natural move, attacking the bishop, threatening rook b3. Maybe she wants to play knight f6 later. I mean, it's a good choice for a move, definitely here for white. Yeah, rook d3. Okay, so Beatrice is having some pressure, but she has quite a bit less time than her opponent, so lots of things can still happen here. We'll be back to that game. Let's catch up with board 1. Angelina against Natalia. And for those of you who weren't here yesterday, Chris, you might want to hear the story. So yesterday, there were 2 games that had the wrong moves. And one of them was g4 first move, and the other one h4 first move. And I was super excited about it. I told everyone in the chat how exciting this tournament is, that they go for g4 and h4 first move. And this morning for breakfast, I had a great conversation with the husband of one of the ladies that I said play g4, but I mean, it wasn't my fault, right? It was the transmission error that I didn't refresh. So my bad in a way, but not really. And the husband was like, Sabina, you almost gave me a heart attack because you said my wife played g4 first move, the grob. And did you know in Russian language, grob means coffin? So, you know, you can't do that. It's like, I'm so sorry. I'll be very mindful. So today I keep checking. I keep getting these text messages, and I apologize if it looks like I'm distracted. I'm not. I'm just making sure that I get the right moves, that everything goes smoothly as possible, you know, not like the kind of smooth that Maurice actually told, Magnus, when, you guys know that very famous video, not that kind of smooth, like really smoothly. They messed with me. They did indeed. And for me, it was exciting because literally I was getting ready to tell my coach, listen, I want to play h4 first move. I'm playing World Rapid and Blitz in a couple of weeks. Prepare this for me. I don't care what you need to do. Come up with some opening ideas for black and please get me ready for it. But I guess now I don't know. I have the move, but I don't know. So we left off in this particular position. No, there was some DGT error. They made some moves before the game or something. So d5, 97, and now Angelina went for g4. Interesting. I didn't think g4 was the move. I was thinking g3, bishop g2 as a plan for white, or maybe knight g3, bishop e2 and stuff. But she went for g4. Okay. Or maybe even, is d6 an option here? No, because then, yeah, no. This queen will be chased away pronto, quite fast from there. Even like, not sure what's the best move, but that queen would be maybe knight c6 to go bishop f8 or something like that. But she went for g4 really fast, okay, and then takes h5. And what's happening here? Okay, so black is capturing the pawn, and in a way, I mean, yes, with white you were able to kind of break open a bit black's king, but in a way you're kind of stuck with these pieces here that doesn't make, and this bishop here, doesn't make it easy for the queen to switch over to the other side of the board. So that's not necessarily a thing. It's not necessarily a thing you want to do. Bishop g5, bishop g4. I need a minute to understand what's happening here. King's Indians are always tricky, and you should never trust the engine evaluation. That's what I was told by some GM. I don't know if it's true or not. The rook in c5 since some other place. True, but there can be some ideas to bring it into play that way, or like switch back over and try to kind of get it this way. Of course, it depends what black will do, but I mean, there's some ways. It was part of the game. You usually take back with the rook, but of course e5 was a good choice, blocking there. So now you just, of course, this rook stayed badly, so you have to improve it for sure, yeah. I'm trying to think what could be a good continuation for white here to try to build more attack, but with black, maybe queen d6, c6 are some follow-up ideas to try to open the position, since it's not clear to me where this king is going. At this point, I don't know where that king is going. Of course, you can keep it in the center, get your bishop out, bishop h3, king f1, but maybe you can even go bishop h3 now, unless I'm blundering something. I don't think so. Yeah, black is fine. Black's got a pretty safe position. I definitely do want to come back to this game in a bit and see if any other game has finished. So we'll a couple more moves have been played here. So rook d3, bishop c5. Why are all these moves red? I mean, this is bothering me, but I'm leaving this because I'm leaving this for you guys. I'm getting all these reds, but I want you guys to see that. That way I'm not missing something either. What's so terrible about that move? What's the worst thing that can happen? Was it? Maybe knight f6 again. Nope. That's not it. Is it like just takes, takes, and takes? Oh, sorry, let's check here first. Yeah, almost made an illegal move. I'm glad I didn't touch that queen in a real game. Chris would immediately stop the board and get some minutes to the opponent. Rook c6, and I would get a warning too, because you're not allowed to make illegal moves. Second illegal move loses the game, so I need to be careful now. But no, just rook c3 first, and then things are happening here. Lots of mates on the horizon. This rook can come in. So what's wrong with rook b3? Seems quite okay too, or not? I guess not. So probably Beatrice was thinking, I'm not gonna... Yeah, I would have to move the queen. Yeah, certainly, yeah. Queen c4, it wouldn't be that terrible. But I'm losing this pawn, you know? I mean, very likely, possibly. I know this knight takes. I'm not losing that pawn, but maybe I'm losing other things. Got rook b3. TBD. Luckily, you know, it's not my game, so I can move something else, right? Yeah, you need to get that bishop. This is a great defending piece, a piece that comes right back to the defense. This is a nice idea, but of course it fails because knight takes. But Beatrice allowed the bishop to go to b6, and now it might not be so easy for her to break through Black's defense, because, you know, by the time you go a4, a5, even, I mean, that pawn will be captured, but to prepare it is just going to take longer. And now Black is okay. So the game is back in the air, right? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen result-wise, so we have to come back to this. This was that game that we suggested some attacks. Oh, Olga decided only b6. Interesting. I thought b5 had to be played to try to create some space on that side of the board. So the players are still being quite cautious about their moves. d4 was played, so Alexei is controlling taking control over the center in a way. Of course, you don't want to take, because taking helps the opening of this file, and if you're trying to fight more for some kind of potential advantage, you want to keep some balance, some tensions, I mean. Okay, so Alexei is trying to create some chances for herself. a4, a5 is typical, but what if I push b5? I want to push b5, and now, you know, in some situations after b4, sorry, this pawn here might be weak. That pawn might get weak. Okay. Whatever happened here? We left this game off where a bit, actually it was here after bishop e3, because I was trying to suggest some other moves for white, but they were not good. And Carla decided to go for c4. So, because we talked about the opposite side castling, let's make the kings another color to be more visible. Because we chose to do that, it's a race, right? I mentioned that earlier. White is trying to get fast to Black's king. Black is trying to find a way to reach White's king. And here, you might need to make a few moves on the side of the board where you're being attacked to make sure you keep your king as defended as possible, while in the same time figuring out a way to attack the opponent's king. And here, the reason this move is not evaluated, in a good way for black is because c4 attracts the idea with b3. So white will be able to actually open up the file right on black's king. And if you were to take, then, okay, this is not the file on black's king, but it is attacking black's king kind of in an easier way. Whereas if you leave the pawns like this, right, and white, right now they cannot, but if at some point white can take, this file does not lead to black's king. So from that perspective, that's one of the reasons why, you see that question mark being given by chess.com here. Black needs to figure out a way to get g4. So I was looking earlier at ideas with h5 or maybe even g4 directly, right? I don't know that this check creates too much damage. Were we worried about this? I don't think so, right? Because we already saw... Oh, not here. Not here. We can just move the queen somewhere, I think. Queen here. I would want to do something like this in order to try to help out the... And if you do something like this, there'll be a g3 coming very soon. Check will allow bishop d6. And then black just opens up, But Kurla played c4, okay. Development. Knight f1. Oh, why did she go to g8? And this move is a bit confusing to me because black needs to play this. Unless she was worried about something in particular here. There's probably something is happening. I'm not quite sure what, but something is happening. Would this kind of an idea be possible? No. No, black should be fine. Ah, my bad. Sorry, I think white can just take, right? And if you take, then we get this, we get that pawn. Okay, I see. So she wanted to make sure that's covered before she considers to push it. But then wouldn't it make sense to use this rook to protect the pawn and use the other one for the attack? Maybe. Yeah, black's delayed a bit the attack, and now it's not so easy to come with a clear idea as to how to continue. Okay, so everything got traded. Queen c7. Okay. We're back to somewhat of a balanced position. Black will be covering here, and g4 is not creating that much damage, so quite a balanced position there. And this game probably has finished by now. Or what? Not yet? Let me see on my... Oh, no, the game is still being played. Okay. The game is still being played. I'm kind of scared to take a break. I need to take a short break. But I'm kind of scared to take a break. Last time I took a break, Streamlabs froze and I had to start over, and then half of the people who were watching left. So at this point, I'm scared to take a break. No breaks for me, I guess. No, but this is... Okay, so I already showed you guys what was happening after the take, right? Check and mate. So black is attempted to hold on to the position so that nothing happens, and now The engine says mate in 10. I don't know what the mate in 10 is. I feel like should be so many ways for white to get a huge advantage here. I'll go bishop takes g7. It's not... Oh, I made it longer. I made the mate longer. Oh, wait. Oops. Am I getting mated myself? Let's see. How is this like really that bad? No, thank goodness. I was like, oh, that wouldn't be fun. So Natasha's probably thinking here, what's the best approach to try to mate? Okay, of course you can go here, you know, worst comes to worst, right? Goes there. And you can just basically trade and take the queen, right? But we're trying to actually find a mate. So I guess bishop f4 is the first move. Second move might be queen takes f7. And basically, let's just say you take, then there should be a mate coming right up. I don't know why I'm so focused on necessarily finding the mate in 5, because it's so cool to try to find mate in 5. How often do you have the opportunity to find a mate in 5? Looks like I'm doing well so far. Now I need a mate in 5. Maybe it's a rook lift. Yeah. And then it will be mate. So we'll see. We'll see what... Nope, that wasn't played. So rook h8 was played, and that's it. We don't have more moves. I'll be back to this game, and then this was the end that I showed you guys. So no other game was played. We got a couple more moves in this one. Quite still a game. Queen c5 check. Queen c4. Oh, check this out, Chris. Looks like queen c4 was actually played. Not in the position that we suggested, but here. What do we want? What to do? What to do? That's better. King b1. Knight a5. Ooh la la. Oh my goodness. And Jayashri has found it. Is she going to be able to take down another strong player? Wow. Yesterday she was able to take down Kennedy Sharnaz, and today she's having a much better position right now against Beatrice. What's the issue, you may ask? Well, this is a fork, first of all. And when you take, bam, in between move. Check this out. You gotta take, and suddenly you are not happy with white anymore because you are down an exchange. Full exchange, no compensation, not much. I mean, yeah, the king is still weak, but ooh, oh, this is a tough mistake by white. Queen c4. Oh. Very, very interesting. I don't know. We gotta be back and see how Beatrice will be able to do something about this position. This is... Oh, she played. What did she play? So she did capture. So she's going for this line. It has to happen. There's no... Right? So takes. Now bishop takes. And what is it that white is gonna play? For some kind of compensation. Because, you know, like, normally I want to say this, but this pawn is hanging. Maybe rook d1? No. Maybe rook takes h5? At least white can try to get some material. But I don't know. This is not a good position for white. It's not a good position at all. So big mistake by Beatrice. This could be. By the way, did I tell you guys that there are some prizes for the upset of the round, for upsets of the round? In this tournament, I need to find out exactly how those work to let you guys know. But wow, that's definitely a cool move by black. So we kind of caught up with everything, I think. Oh no, check this out. Actually, Beatrice decided to go for king c2. But now she stays with a full rook down, if that is really correct. There could be some issues here. Let me check the live feed. Yeah, that seems to be the position. Why did she choose to stay with the rook down? She could have just taken the knight. Maybe she touched the king by mistake. Maybe she just touched the king. Oh, this is gonna be a tough one for her. All right, we'll be back to this game. Not much has happened here or here. And we have a few more moves. So it looks like Natasha decided to go in this position for bishop f4 check, king g8. And she went for the queen. Okay. So the mate that we found potentially here would have been queen takes g6. And then queen takes f7 followed by rook c3. Because that king doesn't have, places to go. The rook comes in and it would be mate. So with that said, my friends, I'm going to take a short break. Let's hope that the stream doesn't collapse again. And I'll be back here in a few minutes. Just need to catch some breath for a moment. Stretch my legs. I was told it's very important to stretch my legs. And this was a good break. And then I just realized it's past lunchtime. This is usually the time. It's way past lunchtime. I live on the East Coast, so being now on the West Coast, kind of not exactly quite, but it's a strange feeling. I woke up today at 6 a.m. just to do work, catch up with work. I don't even know why I do this to myself sometimes. I couldn't sleep a bit longer? I wonder if some of these ladies playing in the tournament are struggling with this, with the time difference, depending when they're coming from. I mean, 2 hours difference normally doesn't mess up with much, but I guess you never know. I mean, anything can happen, of course. So let's see what we have missed. So before we went on break, right, we were around here after bishop g5, bishop g4, and I thought that move was fine for black as it just kind of holds on the position. But it seems that after this trade here and rook c6, remember we were talking with Chris earlier, he was mentioning that rook and c5 is kind of stuck. Well, now white is trying to look for a way to get it into play, and I was mentioning, maybe retreat through c2 or c3, but in this case, after the pawn is here, right, that pawn is protected. So Angelina is trying to get that rook, take advantage of the pin so that she can place the rook there and kind of have some ideas to maybe slide the rook over to h6 and start having some menacing threats. Like, for example, if you make some silly move, just to be clear, I'm not suggesting this, but let's just say you're saying, oh, I need to protect my pawn. Then maybe this is something that white can consider, maybe not yet, but let's just, I just want to show this line because I think it's nice, me and my cute lines. This is some kind of nice tactical idea that you can consider. And why I'm showing this line is because Yeah, I think it's very thematic for what's happening here for black. These pieces are kind of restricting the queen from sliding over. The rook cannot come either, so now the queen and bishop will lead to a mate. I don't know what's the fastest way, if it is bishop f6 or queen h2, but I think bishop here. You have to go king h7, king g8. I think simply allows queen h6, and it might be an even faster mate. So you go king h7 and then probably queen here check. If you go king g8, we're dealing with the same issue. So you have to go king g6, and now maybe white can continue, I think, queen h4 with the idea queen g5, queen g7. You cannot go rook g8 because this will allow queen g5, queen h5 mate. And this is the kind of position that you try to avoid with black. I just wanted to show you for the purpose of emphasizing on a potential tactical idea that you want to be, super careful about. And obviously, if you play the move king g7 in this position, that could make the... Oh, wait, this is not mate. Oops. I thought it was queen h6 mate. My bad. The knight comes to g6. And if you go there, then what do we do? Do we take? I think we can take. This is kind of another cute, opening up the queen. If you take the bishop, then queen h6 mate. And, okay, if you take the rook, then white can take the queen, or queen g5 check first, then take the queen, and white is on the way to win. So you have to be kind of mindful here with the black pieces. You shouldn't be too scared, I think, at this point, but there are some ideas that could be unpleasant. So it's certainly a moment where black has to be careful what to do here. I'm not so sure what's the best possible move, but we definitely need to make sure. Maybe rook would rook b6 work? Because d6 is not possible just yet, because we just take the rook, so that wouldn't work. I'm just trying to assess this position, if this would be fine for black. I mean, we are allowing a protected pass pawn, but we got rid of a very unpleasant potential attacker that could create some issues in this position for black. But maybe there's something else that black can do as well, but that move just seems like something I would be worried about, I guess. Well, not worried about, but just like, a move that I would think it would help black defend. There might be something else too. Black needs to get away from the spin. I don't really see many ways. You can try queen d7, but I just feel that it would still allow moves like or maybe, no, sorry, bishop f6. This is the move that scares me a bit. I need to be careful not to... but no, wait. You can't do that because of queen g5 mate. Or if you want to be even fancier, I found another fancy mate for white. Check. If you take check, mate. If you take like this, we go for this check first, king f8, checky, and mate. So these are some ideas to be mindful about. That's what I'm saying. Like, it can get a bit scary for black in the position, but here I feel that it's a knight g6. No, because we take and queen h6. What is the defending move here for black? Queen g5 is the threat. Can we take? No. No, this cannot be it. Takes and queen comes in. What's the move for black? Does anyone have any idea? Is it f2? No. I mean, could it be this? No. Really? Huh. Should have known. Maurice Ashley has a great course on this. It's called Dark Forest. Check it out on Chessable. Queen takes c6, pawn takes, and now takes here. And I guess the rook and knight are gonna be, and two or three pawns are gonna be sufficient for black to have the advantage. Okay, nice. I mean, it wasn't the first natural move, which I should be, because I've held Maurice on those courses for a few months. I should have known that's the way. Maybe I should send him the position and be like, do you know is the best move in this position for black? Yeah, I'll probably do that later. We'll see about his response. We'll see if he responds. But yeah, queen takes c6, nice. So we'll see. We'll see if queen d7 will be black's choice, or maybe Natalia will go for rook b6. I think rook b6 is the most natural. To me, this seems the most natural. But if she's comfortable and she sees that she can sack the queen on c6 after bishop f6, because this is the move that I think you're most worried about. Rook h6, not so much, right? Not the most, at least. What did we say after rook h6? Do we take it? And then maybe we bring in this rook as a defender, right? So, okay, this is a game to come back to. What else have we missed here? So, looks like Jayashri is on her way to win. When we left off the position, Beatrice has made a few blunders. She had this move knight f6 that could have just gotten her the advantage. But she ended up missing the opportunity, and then black blundered again with bishop c5, and Beatrice missed the chance to take the future protecting piece. And 2 moves later, she fell for a fork. Knight a5, brilliant move found by Jayashri Sekar, and now basically just surprising to me that Beatrice did not take. She would have an exchange down and she can still try to fight, but she played king c2, after which she's down a rook. Maybe she totally forgot that she will be down a rook. I don't know what to tell you. But now, okay, this game will be over very soon. Rook up for black, and there isn't so much to do in this situation. What else have we got here? The next board was some changes, some interesting changes, separate different minor piece. Okay, we left off after this d4 idea where white was trying to now create some chances, took with the rook to avoid opening the c file for black. Rook d1, and now b4. A very nice choice by Olga. And I have mentioned to you guys earlier that this will be certainly a target, this pawn in a5. White may have rushed with that a5 when black can pass by and play b4, because that pawn will remain a lonely pawn later, and black can go for some ideas to take it. Knight d3, takes, and you see, comparing the position now to a few moves earlier, white is the one with two weak pawns that can and will be attacked very soon. And black also decided to give up the bishop for the knight, which I like, because I think, with the way the pawn structure is, this bishop won't be very helpful to protect these 2 weaknesses. So black will be able to put additional pressure. Rook b2, I like it. Rook d2, she decided to take, rook b8 does not work. My apologies, I think probably white takes, although this is hanging too. That probably could have worked, but Olga decided to trade, and now rook b8. So knight for bishop. Okay, one more move was just played bishop f1 to try to stop the rook from going to b5 and put pressure on a5. The bishop gets some improvement on that diagonal, but now it's going to be hard, because this knight in g4 is very unpleasant. If you ever play f3, you're going to weaken the second rank, and if if you ever move the rook and black puts the rook on the second rank, you will have trouble to bring the king into play. So you need to come up with some ideas in this position, which it will not be very easy. I gotta tell you that. It will not be easy. Okay, this is a game to look at. A few more things have happened, and looks like white is the one who's gotten more pressure towards black's king instead of the other way around. We stopped around bishop f4, and I thought, I see. What do I see? I see the fact that now this knight here is not helping black very much. In fact, it's helping white because c4 comes in with tempo c5, knight c4. White tries to get more, the pawns push more pressure there, and black's attack hasn't started. Black's attack has not started yet, and when you're dealing with a position with opposite side castling, you have to find a way to build in your attack. Bishop g3, knight f1, bishop d6, rook d2. Yeah, doubling up on the b file. She did not double up on the b file. Okay. Is there something wrong with this move? Ah, she wants to play c6. I see. Okay, yeah, that's another idea. Okay, so queen c6, and now the knight comes to c4. Yeah. Queen e6, knight e5. White allowed the trading of the queens, but is winning material, right? Because when you take now, there's this in-between move check, which was just played. Knight takes d2, 7 check, king goes here, and now white can recapture. Once you take the knight, rook takes b7, and with an exchange and a pawn up, and possibly a second one coming right up, white is on her way to win. So this was kind of unexpected, and it was kind of fast-paced in a way, if you think about it, because black had some ideas, but suddenly that c4, I think it all goes back to the move c4 here in this position. It just kind of delay potential attacks on the king side, and because of that, the position did not go very well for Carla, unfortunately for her. How is everyone doing in the chat? Are you guys still with me? Have you had your lunches? Where are you watching for? Whom are you rooting for? I appreciate you keeping me company. Feel free to chat anything. Don't need to tell me who you are. That's fine. I will guess it. We'll play a guessing game. So Natasha missed some opportunity to mate earlier. Oh, hi, David. How are you doing? Still going strong. Lost the stream for a little bit, but I got it right back because, you got to be prepared for everything. You got to be prepared. That's right. Sekar has had an amazing tournament, winning yesterday against Women's International Master Shernas Kennedy, and now she's winning against... or maybe she won already at this point against Beatrice. Great. Yeah, she was very... I interviewed her yesterday, and I hope those YouTube videos will be up soon so you guys can see it, or maybe there will be a report made for the entire tournament with my interviews clipped. I need to interview all the other players too. But I know she was very nervous. She was nervous about the fact that she said she doesn't speak English well. She's originally from India, and she said she doesn't think she speaks English well, but she doesn't play much, all of these things. But she said she might not score much, but, she supported. And it was interesting in the interview. Okay, I'll share that because I know when that will be up. But she was telling me that her husband takes her to tournaments. So they travel together and he takes her to tournaments. And I asked the husband after the interview if he plays chess too. And he told me, no, I'm the chauffeur. I was like, okay, sure. How nice is that? You don't often see that, unfortunately, I think. I always love to see a couple where the husband is supporting the wife on, you know, supporting her passion. She's not a high-rated player, but she's definitely passionate about chess, and rating is just a number, like I always like to say. Hey, chess lover, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for being here. So looks like Natasha just won her game. It was another very exciting game, actually, and I won't show it till the end, but I want to recap what happened in this game, because this was definitely one of those games that you wanna remember the ideas. So there's a sharp choice by Natasha. She went for the Smith-Mora gambit, right? So typically here after c3, I personally, when I play this, I go for d3. I don't want to take the second pawn. The first one is enough for me. You can take it back, and then I can, you can have more space, but I get some development. But okay, there's nothing wrong with this. And I remember my dad actually showed me the same system that Shernaz played here with e6, knight e7. And let's go back and forth so that we actually, see the game in more strong red. Oh, Mark Esserman told you he helped Larry Christensen prepare for the Smith-Mora. I see. Few husbands at the tournament supporting their better halves. Yes, this is wonderful to see. It's always great to see the support. So bishop e7. Also, David, of course, one of the supporters of this tournament. Maureen is the one who wanted to have it organized, and I know he's always supportive of Maureen, right? And it's great to be here. I mean, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them, so very thankful for that opportunity. So a6 and now bishop c4. So if you look at chess.com, it tells you this is a mistake, but I didn't think this was a mistake. This is a very natural approach. Queen c7. Now, this was a move that I wasn't fond of, because I don't think this is the placement for the queen. It's easily attacked and allows white to have some ideas, some, discovery ideas with the knight, bishop f4 ideas. I just feel that black needs to try to be fast here with the development. Maybe this. Bishop b7, h6, chase the bishop away. Even h6, g5 was another idea that I suggested for black, and then go bishop g7. Be careful not to lose your queen somehow there, but you need to get your king to safety quite fast. But in the game, queen c7 was played, of course, bishop b3, very natural, and black proceeds with trying to finish development. But because the queen was placed there in c7, noticed here after rook c1, black has to be careful, because knight d5 is a very typical idea for various Sicilians, right? It doesn't always have to do with things on the c file. Sometimes it has to do with the things on the e file opening up. So when you place a knight in d5, pawn takes, the file opens up, and usually white gets back the piece or takes advantage of black's king in the center. And here Shernaz made this mistake that allowed knight d5, and after capture, I think Natasha missed a great opportunity to finish the game faster if she had taken with the queen, because there's no way for black to protect f7 now. So if the queen captures f7, it's just really close to game over, and you can't really do this because we can just take, right? And after queen takes f7, rook takes c6, I think this will be over soon. Or is it even made? No, we win the queen, at least. So after the capture bishop b7, white played rook e1. We were talking about this position for a while earlier. I was talking with the chat. Takes, and maybe queen e2 or rook e1. Now, this is kind of an important move because otherwise maybe black can castle. Whereas in the other situation, it wouldn't be so easy because this pawn was kind of hanging. But okay, maybe similar rook e1 was played. And after bishop e7, it's really nice to see how Natasha has brought her pieces to keep black from castling. Black still decided to castle here, but now after getting the piece back and queen h5, white is taking advantage of a lot of tactical ideas that involve this pin, the knight hanging, this pawn being ready for a sacrifice, knight f5, and a lot of black's pieces are in trouble here. King h7, knight f5, and now bishop takes h6 is coming. And Natasha played it. Best, beautiful move indeed. You cannot capture because it would lead to this cute little checkmate. And queen g7 or king h7, queen g7, same thing would happen. So Sharnaz chose rook h8, and now the engine was pointing mate in 8, and I really wanted to find it when we looked over this game. I spent a bit of time, and we did find it together with the chat, or by myself, I don't know. Bishop f4, nice discovered check. And I was saying, like, if you don't find the mate as white, you probably would go for queen takes h8, king takes, and bishop takes c7, which is actually what happened. And Natasha went on to win the game, but the mate here was queen takes g6, and now of course the queen is hanging, and then there's more issues on the way. So if you capture the bishop, then we got this queen f7 check, followed by rook c3. That king is trapped, and the mate is going to be inevitable. So this was beautiful game played by Natasha. Nice attacking chess. A second tough loss for Sharnaz. As I was telling you, in my first day of arriving here, I got the chance to talk to Sharnaz, and she told me about her story. She told me about Bobby. She told me about a book that she was gonna, she has finished and she wants to have published. And I was quite excited about meeting her because it was she has the kind of personality that I have. I just love opening up to people and sharing my life story, whether they like to hear it or not. And I just love to meet someone as passionate sharing stories as I am. And I'm trying to be impartial here, and not supporting any particular player, specifically, but I just really like connecting with her, and I hope she can get to have some nice game in the future in this tournament. So we already saw this nice win. I already reviewed that one. Let's see what else we've got. So here, the current position we had. Yeah, the exchange up. White is on her way to win. Then we had this game and this game. So we got this game should be over soon. Yeah, it's over. Incredible comeback by Jayashri. She had a tough position. We already reviewed it, right? And well done. Did I miss something here in the chat? I know. I wanted to focus on the game so that it can be. Yeah, she's a bit underrated rating-wise, but listen, she's been working hard. I talked to her. She's definitely been training for this. Sometimes you just get to play well. Sometimes people underestimate you, and anything can happen. So kudos to her for working really hard to get ready for this tournament. I think she's very excited. I think David mentioned yesterday she was very excited to have the opportunity to compete in this tournament, because I think someone else had declined and it got down to her. I think she's from South Carolina. And just having the opportunity to come here, I think is really exciting. So can't wait to see what she does in the next round. So we have two games that are kind of big right now. Still yet to be decided. So it looks like Natalia did go for rook b6. Rook takes b6, and this was something that I suggested. The other line, if you guys remember, was queen d7, and if bishop f6 were to be played, the best move here for black would have been queen takes c6, sacking the queen, but the material that black has is more than enough. These pawns are very unpleasant. I guess there's no mate coming up. Maybe knight g6 to keep everything covered. Check, we run away. This pawn might be lost, and it's white's king that's always going to be in trouble. But Natalia decided to go for rook b6, trading everything, and now f6. Okay, nice try to. So what happens if takes? What was her plan? What was her plan here? She played queen a8. That was her plan, but I don't know. Angelina is again quite low on time, and the engine is not liking it. I wonder if this was the best move for black. And now when you go back, you need to move the bishop, right? So you can go bishop h6 or bishop e3. I feel that bishop h6 could allow some activity for black. But this would still allow some activity for black. And if you go queen c3, what could we do with black here? I'm not fond of this bishop. We need to find a way to activate it eventually. At some point. But this bishop is also not doing much, so, you know, both players have a bishop that's not doing that much. At least there will be no attack. At least you can be sure of that, but maybe this to try to push these pawns. But so why is queen a8 such a bad move according to the engine? Is this an option, guys? No, because queen takes. Oh, is it queen d? No. So I have, is this an option? Yeah. Queen d7. So now if you take, the king hides, like you give one more check, I hide there. And no more checks, but that rook is hanging. And if you attempt this, something's cooking here. Yes, what's the fastest? Oh, bishop d3. Oh, no, bishop d3, no. Oh, almost blunder. Oh my goodness. It's okay, I gotta show it, you know. You gotta admit your mistakes. Okay, I admit my mistakes. Yeah, I admit my mistakes. It's not mate yet, okay. It's not made, but it's okay. I think it's the food. The food is the reason. It's my lunchtime. It's way past my lunchtime. It's like 4 hours past my lunchtime. I should have had lunch early. I'm gonna blame it on the food so that, you know, I don't feel so bad. No, but here, where's the best advantage for white? Should we go rook h? No. Well, you got lucky, chess lover, that you're not commenting live. So you escaped the blunder. You escaped it. Can we just give this check? You know, and if you take, then we'll find some, you know, ways to infiltrate. And if you go there, I think I have this snapmate. What do we do now? King f8. Should we go bishop h6 maybe? And if you take, we take. And then, you know, we got some ideas. So a very sharp position. I mean, white's king is safe, surprisingly here. And yeah, that would be a good move. Let's see if white played it. No. Angelina played queen c2 to protect her pawn. And she's probably thinking, you know, of course she has this very unpleasant a very unpleasant threat there with a mate. But that gives up the e7 pawn, which Natalia took quite fast. And what have we got now? Very... Black is trying to fend off the active pieces of white, and now, you know, we have quite a good position, I'd say. Pretty good position. Okay. So we'll be back to this game. Let's catch up with the other one. So this one was over. This was another interesting game, right? Where Alexei tried to get the draw too soon. And I did mention I felt that, you know, you don't need to show your opponent you're scared in any way and try to go for a draw just because they're higher rated. Sometimes, you know, you're putting yourself down and you're giving the opponent a bit more confidence. I don't know if that was what she was doing, but to me, that's how I would see it as a commentator or someone who looks at the game without having any kind of involvement. Those are things that I would consider. So, okay, so Alexei got the pawn to a6. That's usually a nice thing to do now. If only she could get this rook to make it to b7 or somewhere on 7th rank, of course, she would have some chances to win. So rook b1 to start rook b2 ideas. How to be good at chess, like 2000 level good. Well, where are you right now? It depends where you are. What you've been done so far, it's never super easy. It's not so easy. I mean, you could get good at learning various patterns, you know, in the different openings that you play, and now you need to learn some openings, some end games, know some plans, definitely lots of tactics. You're 1600. Okay, so if you have time to spend on chess, you definitely need to alternate between different parts of the game to try to improve them. And spend time on it seriously. Also try to develop your knowledge in classical chess, look at games of strong players, champions of the past, you know, former world champions, but also players of those world champions generation, because, you know, there's a lot of ideas that were created around those times, and these days we still use them, or maybe we use an improved version of it. So you want to be familiar. Study Kasparov's books. Yeah, you can definitely study Kasparov's books. My great predecessors. Those are great books that bring in basically bring you some knowledge, some first knowledge about, you know, the history of chess. Some great games in there. You know, focus on learning what those players have created, focus on the ideas and stuff. But there's tons of other books that talk about the world champions, you know, that's not the only ones. But yeah, that's a nice introduction. I totally agree with Chess Lover for sure. 1 class, 50 plus. Yes. So all of these players are 50 plus. It's the US Women's Senior Championship above 50, yes. Oh no, I'm sorry, you ruined your book. It happens, you know. I get the feeling, but what happened here? I told her I wasn't quite fond of this. Maybe, yeah, rook b1. Maybe this was a move for black earlier. Because if the knight comes closer, like we're threatening here, maybe if the knight comes closer, maybe that a6 wouldn't be so easy to be played. You know, you like the knight in g4, but it doesn't do as much anymore. So now we can improve upon it. Let's get back to here. Here. Okay, so the position is... they got into this endgame. This is interesting. So now we'll have to see which is better, the knight or the bishop. Now, technically, with pawns on both sides of the board, you would say the bishop is better because in one move it gets from one side to the other. But here, it depends because the bishop has some entrance ideas to take advantage of a lot of pawns of blacks on that side of the board. So if white keeps the bishop here, then black's improvement might not be so easy because you can't do this since your knight will be hanging. So you might need to kind of sit and wait there. And yeah, just don't make this move. I think this would probably be, you know, a way to lose the game. You don't want to make that decision. So make sure you keep the bishop on the board. Maybe f4 and bringing the king closer would be ideal. The move f4 also restricts the knight from going to e5. In some situations, if you're planning to bring the king, originally I was going to say first king f3, but I felt maybe this is a bit unpleasant, though. Now that I look at it a bit more, I see that's not that much. We can do this in here. So, okay, without the rooks on the board, I think white is not that worried anymore about having a slightly worse position. And this game is not over yet, but it's on its way. And then back to this game. Rook takes e7, and Angelina played the move bishop d2. And this is going to be an interesting game. We need to keep an eye on because both players are lower on time. Angelina more than Natalia, but the time control is 90 minutes with 30 seconds increment. So the players still get this increment to think about what to do next. So that's something to keep in mind. Mistakes could be done on both sides. f5 was quite an interesting choice by Natalia because what she's trying to do is get rid of this pawn. So if you take, for example, right, she wants to go e4 directly, or maybe not directly. Sorry, she wants to go f2. Sorry, my bad. Oh my goodness. f2, huge little tactical idea there, opening up her queen. You can say, oh no, my queen in a8 doesn't do anything. Well, exactly. So if you understand that, then you can come up with ideas on how to improve it. And she found a very nice f5. I love that move. I love it. And it looks like Angelina made a mistake with rook g1. Like, huge mistake? Why is this such a huge mistake? Some captures possible here? What is going on? This is sometimes distracting, you know, that bar. I wonder, could it be this? Could we do that? This could be unpleasant. Unpleasant surprise, check coming out of nowhere, and that could be scary. All right. Back to this game. Any more moves? Oh, apologies. Okay, king f3 was indeed played, not f4. Okay, so Alexei is trying to keep the pawn in f2. She's probably liking her chain here and doesn't want to create more weaknesses. Maybe she started playing for a win now. King going to g5. Okay. f6. Super restriction. I like this. I always like to show pawns controlling everything. Are all these games live? Yes, they are live, but with 15 minutes delay. So, I mean, technically it's still considered live. They're being played as we speak. Maybe the games are over. I'm not sure if they're over yet or not, but yeah. I mean, I could check if they're over, but I don't want to spoil my... Ooh. All I can say is one result is unexpected, and I won't say which one it is, because we need to be all together here, figuring it out together, right? Okay, back to board one. What else have we seen here? Rook g1, bishop f6. Oh, bishop f6 played by Natalia. She found that idea. Okay, let's see what's going on next. Bishop f6. I don't know why I'm feeling nervous. It's the time trouble. I'm just feeling nervous for the players. I'm not even rooting for anyone here. I don't know why I'm holding these headsets either. I don't know. Water break. I need more water. Queen b3 check. Queen b3 check. Okay, king f8 maybe? Or no, king f8, bishop h6. Where do we go with the king? King g7? King f8 seems fine, right? No more checks, nothing. Seems like that could be a good option here for black. Also, let's not forget, now that the queen moved, we're also threatening queen takes e4. This could be scary for white. Yeah, sure, you got one more check. Okay. Oh, sorry, not that. Oh, my bad. That loses. That loses. No, but I go bishop g7. Sorry. Apologies. Big apologies. Okay, bishop g7, and then what do you want to do next? What do we do next? You want me to play king e8? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I touched the king. You know, there was that there was video with Hikaru. Oh, he touched the king. He touched it. She touched it. I touched it. But thankfully, I can touch it and not have to move it. Thankfully. Oof. That would be a tough loss. No, but queen b3, yeah. King f8 seems fine. King g7. I don't like king g7 because of this, and I feel that, I don't know, no, there's queen what's happening here? I don't know. White should be fine here. Better. Yeah, king f8 seems. This is 0-1? We'll see. We will see. Back to no more moves on this game. And looks like, well, since the players made a lot of moves, this game will be going on for some more time for sure. And let's stay with board 1. So king h8. Oh. King h8 was played. Interesting. So Natalia's not worried about rook h1 check. What does she want to do? Rook h... She want to go king g7 then? Maybe this is what she wants to do. Maybe this is what she wants to do. So king h8. What? Isn't this like bad? Queen e4? Because you can't go there because you're gonna get mated here. Fast. I don't know what's the fastest way, but something like this leads to mate very fast. There's no way to cover these combination, like queen, rook, bishop here is bad. So after queen e4 check, you gotta put something in front. If you put the queen, I think, wait, we have the same thing, right? Like maybe bishop h. Should we go bishop h4 first, and then should we go here? And then again, we're dealing with the same issues. Oh my god, did she just blunder? Like, this is over. This is... If you go here, I mean, there should be some other mate. Well, at least this and winning material. Oh no. Oh, this looks bad. This looks like game over. Queen e4 was played. Is Natalia on her way to win this? This would be huge if she wins. Why does it show 0-0? Did Angelina lose on time? Bishop e3. No, but this... Bishop e3, I don't know. Check? Check? Or f2? f2 wins the piece. Queen b1, rook d7. Queen b1, queen d1. Or no, king f2, king f2, king f2. Ah, but then there's bishop here. Oh, what about king d2? Because rook d7, I go bishop d3, and my rook is covered, actually. I'm not sure this is what you want with black. It's probably not what you want with black. Wait, did she lose on time? Check the live. Wow, guys, this is an unexpected result. Angelina is the defending champion, and I think she lost some time. Or not. Maybe not. Let me refresh my thing here. I just got confirmation. I just got confirmation from the arbiter. I just got confirmation that she lost some time. I don't know if these next moves were played or not, but I got confirmation she lost some time. I don't know when. Wow, what a finish here, guys. I mean, it was tough. The moves are still being shown. Maybe they were analyzing after, because this time shows 0-0, so I don't know. Yeah, she was an increment, but on the actual live, yeah, no, see, it got fixed. So this is the final position, queen e4. And she lost some time. The result just showed up. Oh, that was tough. That was a tough one. She got really low on time, and yeah, this is hard if you forget about queen e4. I told you this king here in the center would be something to be worried about. Yeah. Well, this is definitely a nice win by Natalia. I'm sure her husband now is happy. He will not blame me for anything wrong. I checked this game a few times. I'm pretty sure this is the right result. So if he's still watching, he will probably be happy. And a tough loss for Angelina, who's the defending champion, and it's tough to lose with the white pieces, for sure. She had a tough... she had a slightly better position, but it's tough to deal with the king in the center. So good job. Nice game, Natalia. We have a final game still being played, so we're going to stay with this game until we figure out if anything exciting is happening. Meanwhile, feel free to send me some questions and let me know what you want to find out. Do you want to find out anything from the players? I'm actually on location, so I can certainly try to find out more information for you. If you have any questions, she lost a similar endgame. I see. So, by the way, for those of you who don't know, the next round is going to be at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern. So that's when I'll go live around that time with round 3 commentary of this tournament. It's definitely proved to be a very exciting tournament, and now everything is up in the air to deciding the champion, because prior to the round, there were 4 players with 1 point who had won the first round. So it was Angelina and Natalia. Now Natalia is on 2 out of 2. And we had Beatrice and Jashri. Jashri has won an incredibly unexpected game, a very nice game. So Jayashri is the only other player with 2 points. So the 2 players, I believe, will be facing each other, Natalia and Jayashri. And then we'll have some players with 1 point, some with half. Maybe there's 1 or 2 with 0 points. So, but anything is in the air, because usually when the top player loses, the other one who takes over needs to see whether they're mentally ready to keep up with leading the tournament. Sometimes, there could be extra pressure, but definitely a very nice game by Natalia. Congrats on that. So as for me, like I said, I'll be going live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And for tomorrow, the rounds are 1 hour earlier than today. So tomorrow, the first round, so round 4, will start at 10 a.m. Mountain, so 12 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay, yeah, this position is definitely very tricky. I'm waiting to see a few more moves. Basically, the knight in c5 is very strong. It keeps the bishop passive, but the bishop keeps the king passive. The question, and there's no entrance for white. White also has to stay there. I don't think there's a way to really progress for either sides here. I guess the knight could be the one creating some threats, but how can you bring it? Where can you bring it? Where can you bring it? I'm not so sure what could be the improvement. Hi, Hunter. What would be the best approach here to try to play for a win? It's probably Olga that's trying to play for a win, because yeah, the knight would be the yeah, f5, sure, and then what? Because that will take away my king. Yeah, f5 or d5, sure, one of those moves. So you have to prepare it with the knight maneuvering. And you're saying to play f5 so that you can have pressure on this pawn and just kind of get him passive, and then try to switch over fast and hit this pawn maybe. Okay, there are some ways. I'll give you that. I'll agree. So Olga's probably going to go for that. Sure. Very, very sure. I wanted to make sure I read the correct information for you guys regarding the time, but no, I'm sure it's I'm sure I told you the correct time. White is winning. White is winning. How is white winning here? What is your winning plan? Would love to know. White doesn't quite have any chance to win here. The only way to win is if you get lucky to somehow get your king and start grabbing pawns, but that's very little likely, unfortunately, for white. White cannot really have. White has more time, but unless a blunder happens, this game should finish in a draw. So next round at 4 p.m. local time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, wow, wait. 6 p.m. In an hour? Wait, is it an hour? No. Yeah, it's in an hour. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize this day was getting to be so long. Why did I wake up at 6 a.m.? Wrong decision. Very wrong decision. I definitely need to stretch. I'll definitely go outside. It's getting a bit chilly, but it wasn't snowing anymore today. It's beautiful though. The mountains, this area is so nice. I It's my first time in Utah, and I love it so much. I'm definitely coming back. First chance I get. You would like to take the pawn in a7. I know, but you see, a knight could capture that pawn. A bishop cannot. So your only way of trying to improve is if, like I said, this king somehow makes it to enter to grab some pawns. But at this moment in time, that is impossible. Okay, maybe white will try to do something here with g4. Maybe it's white who will try something. Timber! Thank you so much for the bits. US just appreciates you. I don't think we need. I need to help create some emotes and stuff. I need to work on that. Right now, I just offered to stream here to help continue promoting chess in the US, of course. But I'll work on that. US Chess really appreciates that. Thanks. No, the canyons are so beautiful, and like sunrise. Just, you know, when I decided to move to Kentucky, I fell in love with the sunsets. But I don't know if you would make me choose between sunrise and sunset. I'm not sure which one I would choose. Both gorgeous. And here this morning, since I woke up that early, I definitely saw a gorgeous one. Should have taken a picture, but I was too lazy. So what's happening here? Yeah, it's kind of flat. Yeah, Kentucky's kind of flat. So you can see the sunsets. Really nice. And you know, when I heard of bluegrass the first time, I was like, what is that? But you clearly can see the grass has a different kind of color. They're not lying about it. It's for real. It is for real. Kind of bluish. Greenish blue. Okay, so it looks like Alexei did not go for that. Maybe now f5 is possible. So we'll get this kind of position. The question is, do you think white will go for this approach and trying to get that pawn, give the a? No, you shouldn't do that. You should not do that. But definitely like f5 now is possible. f5 is possible. I need to go back and forth. Is this game over? I think this game is over. Unfortunately for Carla, she played such a good game in the beginning, but unfortunately for her, she missed the opportunity to start the attack and allowed her opponent to attack, and then it just didn't really go her way. Maybe f5, maybe yes, maybe no, maybe rain, maybe snow. The game is still going actually in the live. And I see what stuff has happened. Seems like we were right about the F and E pawns to be traded. Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, I guess, the way the sun falls in the state, it just shines. It just makes the grass look different color. Also, at night, you can see it kind of nicely. It looks more bluish at night. During the day, I mean, you know, it does not, but during the night, it does. Grace sunsets there too. Where you mean Kentucky or you mean Utah? Kentucky, great sunsets. That was one of the reasons why I moved there. The wonders of the nature, or the wonders of the nature, technically. Utah. I didn't pay attention to the sunset last night, but I'll definitely pay attention today, because maybe the rounds will finish earlier and I'll be able to see, or maybe I'll just take a break at some point. Last night I didn't take any break. I'm feeling proud of myself for sticking to the commentary for close to 4 hours straight. I know it was the last time I did that. It's kind of tough at times, but anyways. No, I did not go to the derby yet. No, I should go probably, but I did not go yet. I keep missing the dates. Every time there's a derby in Kentucky, I just keep traveling, so I don't get the chance. Ooh, now is the opportunity to switch those 2 pawns, to flip them. Do we want that with black or not? Do we want to give this check? I would want to give that check. I would give that check. Let's see. Let's see what does Olga choose for that position. You don't understand King E3? King E3 was played earlier. Just to sit and wait. I don't know. I guess she didn't want to go for G4. I mean, I think this would have been possible, because if you take, this gives white some chances. Now we have H5, deflect the king, enter with the king, But black does not need to take. That's the only thing. So, I think black can just sit and wait. What's the best sitting way? This? Maybe this, but then... Sorry, King G3. Okay, maybe white can put pressure. Yeah, no. Yeah, maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe you're just waiting to see if black would go for F5, just waiting for black. So now what have we got? King F6. Okay, so black is inviting bishop takes H5. Or, no, sorry, I think D5 has to be played. D5, you go back and then takes. This normally, based on the theory, the bishop should be better than the knight, because it can both, support its own pawn and sub this pawn of black. But it remains to be seen what's happening. Should favor white. Yes, just lover indeed. Normal, it's super great to see you again. These women have very strong husbands. They do have very strong husbands who are here. Some of them are here supporting them. Since the bishop controls both sides. That's right, just lover. So we had this happen. Okay, as we suggested, King E3, knight takes A6. But I don't know, I don't know why black would allow for this to happen. She has to be very careful now how she deals with this, because that H pawn will be very scary. G4, okay. Both of them with quite a lot of, nice ideas. Nice to see you too. I'm glad you guys are here. Many people in this stream, I know you're following my own channel. If you haven't done so yet, feel free to follow my own channel too, because I do go live occasionally when I'm not here. Looks like I may be here for more time than I anticipated. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm joking. I do know why I'm doing this. I do want to help promote US Chess Channel and see more streams happening here as well. So I would love it if you would follow so that you know when US Chess goes live, and also my channel too, because I try to do either one or the other. Maybe I'll try next event that I have to do commentary on. I want to see if I can do a dual stream. I'm not quite sure how that works exactly. I have to look into it to make sure it will be fine on my computer. But I would love to do that to support both myself and US Chess. And also the link that I just posted, if you go on the YouTube playlist, you can check out my recent 2 podcasts interviews with International Master Alice Lee and Women's International Master Luciana Morales. We decided to continue class in session. So we have an interview that usually lasts about 30 minutes or so with those the guests, and followed by one of their favorite games that they play that they want to talk about and describe how what their feelings were towards the game, why they made specific moves, and so on, like kind of a lecture in a way, commentary on one of their best games. And I think it's kind of cool, so I would love it if you guys checked it out and subscribe to it, so that you know when new things are being posted. Of course, US Chess continues to create new videos now, where my interviews from here will probably be posted too. We'll have to wait and see. What do I think about Carissa's run to an almost perfect score in this past? Oh, I think it was amazing. Yeah, I thought for a little bit of time, I thought maybe she is going to take a break from chess because she started college and it seemed that she's passionate about what she's studying. But yeah, I just shared the link to the channel. The first link that shows here, Christensen, that's the link to my Twitch channel. So if you go, you can just click and follow. I would really appreciate it. And hopefully you guys have followed US Chess, of course. I mean, that's already implied that I hope you did that. True chess lover. I hope so too. You got it? Awesome. I will try chess lover. I've been I'm trying to work on my chess, and I also try to support myself the best way I can. And I think usually when I explain things, it helps me remember things that I've done that maybe I forgot about, maybe get new ideas. So I feel that this is helpful. We'll see how I end up doing in the future, but for now, I have started training more again. I used to not train. I haven't really trained much for the past few years, which has been the reason for my rating decline. But I'm trying to get back at it, and we'll see how far I can go. I appreciate it, chess lover. Thank you. So, okay, this game, I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but I think, I don't know how much each one of the players wants to win. Like, I wish I could just get into their head and read their minds and figure out which one of them is more determined to win this game. But what I can tell you is that, with black, if you trade this pawn and then you give up the knight for that, it's going to be a draw, right? So you have to be mindful that you're able to do that if you want to play for a win. Like, play it with a draw in the pocket in a way, because technically, again, because pawns are on both sides of the board, the bishop is the one that should be more on the side to play for a win. G5. G5 is not pleasant. I would just take it and take the draw. Next move, d4. Oh, well, I guess the king can move. Okay, but then black advances, or maybe not there, maybe not there. Maybe here? And just tries to come this way to force d4 trade and everything. That would be my approach, but I don't know what Olga will decide to do here. H5. No, but it's black's turn. It's black's. King e7 was played. Oh. Okay. I don't like that. Seems a bit passive, kind of. King e7. Right? But I guess, okay, the knight maintains the pressure on g5. So the idea is if you push, the king will come back and then this pawn will be... Oh, sorry, the bishop is hanging. Oh my goodness. I got tired. I apologize. It's normally time for a break, but we're not taking it. We are not taking the break. Okay, so g5. King e7. What is a good continuation for white here? We need to move this bishop here. Bishop b5. Ah, she played bishop a4. Okay, makes sense. Bishop a4. You were about to say knight f4? Yeah. Knight f4, but... she has to be careful a bit. What about this? You know, if you want to play for a win, I can also try to bring liquidating. Not yet. I'm starting to like white's chances here because these pawns are getting ready for a push. It's not so easy. It's not so easy. I feel like anything can happen. Personally, I think anything can happen here. I mean, king f3. Yeah, look at that. Improving. King f3 to go to king g4. How do you stop that? King e6? That won't hold for too long. Maybe king f7? But no, the point is that you gotta be careful because these pawns will march. You have to watch d4 push. Yeah. Not so easy. It's not so easy. This bishop now stops the a pawn, and white wants to push those. It's kind of hard. And if you bring the king that way, there'll be some bishop e8 at some point. Not easy at all. Well, black is down to 3 minutes. White 6. You know, that's... It's kind of funny that this chess.com now has these accuracy things. What are your thoughts about those accuracy numbers? I think it just scares people off. Like 93.2. White played 93.2 accuracy and black 92.9. Come on. Like what does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. It's funny to me that those accuracy things are kind of funny. But it was a really well played game for both sides, definitely. Okay, a5. King g4. Olga, you gotta be careful. The king is coming. King g4, king f5? I don't know. King g4, h5. No, king f5. I don't know. But yeah, king g4, king f5. This pawn. How's black gonna... How's black stopping that? King g4, okay. King g4. Okay. Is knight e2 an option? Could that work? No, knight e6, okay. Yeah, I see. I'm not sure how that's calculated, but I see what you're saying. Oh, looks like they just posted the pairings. Well, I'm not looking. I want to know what's happening here. I want to know without knowing ahead of time, because I might be inclined to make some comments because I would know the results. So we're trying to avoid that, okay? That's gonna be avoided. H5, okay. Okay, I'm scared. I don't even know if I can find the moves at this point. I mean, if I'm tired, they must be even more tired, because when you play, I think there's so many emotions going on. I'm switching between games, chatting with you guys, you know, getting a bit of coffee here and there. But the players, imagine the intensity, right? Imagine the intensity of the game. It is a very tough end game. Imagine the intensity. Okay. H5. What? What? JK Christensen, thank you so much for the 100 bits. US Chess is thankful. What just happened? Did black just blunder? Come on. D4, what? Gotcha, Harry. Thanks for sharing those. See, I need to ask more questions. Maybe I should ask you questions rather than asking you to ask me questions. Maybe that way we can actually have a conversation. I see how it works. That's what I need to do to improve the stream. Now I see. I get it. When I ask people to write, they don't. But if I ask a question, I see. Okay. I need to pretend like I don't know stuff. Like this time I really didn't know. So thank you all for your thoughts. But I got it. I need to pretend that I don't know stuff. So that way I get you more engaged. Okay. Lesson learned. All right. So D4 seems to be a huge blunder, because now what's happening? Why is that such a huge blunder? Are we attending some H6? H6. Oh, you can go King F7, because I think this move pins the knight and then that pawn is gonna be promoted. Ooh, no. Oh my goodness, what a blunder. So this could actually get Olga to lose the game. I did not expect that this could happen. King F7 is not working, and if you go, for example, Knight F8, I think what's the best approach? What's the best? Do we go Bishop C2 here? No. Do we go King F4, King F5? King F5 followed by G6. Oh my god. Wait, what? This is a position. Is Alexei gonna play H6? Is she gonna play H6? I did not expect this was gonna happen. Yes, she is. Okay, let's see. I mean, she's got 5 minutes to find it. She's got 5 minutes. King F5 is... I don't know if King F5 also works. Is King F5 working too? No. Oh, because Knight takes G5. This is Black's threat. Oh, Knight takes G5 is the threat. Okay, so that's why H6 is good, because now if you go Knight takes G5 takes and you try to get in front of the pawn, that's probably what Chislover is trying to say. Yeah, Bishop B3, bam, restriction. You can't get in front. If, for those of you who don't know, this is wrong color corner. So if Black manages to get the king in front, it's a draw. But now, like, no matter what you do, A4, I don't care. No, sorry, I don't play that. I play, what's the best move? King F6? King F6, I think, yeah. So if you take, I go H7, and you're one move too late to promote. Oh, wow. She's probably thinking she gets the draw, but if h6 is played, then white is winning. h6 was played! h6 was played! Oh my god! Did Alexei win this game? Did you not have knight takes g5? Well, yeah, knight takes g5 is the move, but the thing is, you know, the bishop stops you from entering. So here, black had to recapture here with the pawn because, you know, you have to, because if you take here first, then again, you know, you need to take this pawn, right? So once you do, you know, h6, you have to try to get in front of it, right? To get the draw. And this move, this is the key. This is the key important move in the game that would happen. So what did happen? What did happen? h6 knight f8. Okay, so what's the winning move now? What did we say? You say king f5, right? King f5 wins the game. Yeah, white is winning, you told me. Okay. I mean, I told you it will happen only if there's a blunder, okay? All right, but you are right. You got a good guess, I guess, you know, but that was a blunder. You know, on good play from both sides, the game would end in a draw. There was no real ideas that, you know, would lead to something, but like, yeah, now, yeah, white is winning. So let's see. Did she find king f5? This is important. This is an important moment because I think, I don't know, if you play anything else, black might be able to hold. Like, what else could you play, though, if you don't play king f5? Because you can't push g6 or h7. I mean, the pawns would be captured. But I don't know. The time trouble might be a stressful element for the player. So bishop b3, bishop b3. Why are you putting question mark? What's... You think bishop b3? Well, bishop b3... Still winning, kind of. I don't know what I can do with black. Bishop c2 you can play. Maybe this would be like the issue here. Maybe I can play... No, not these three. Maybe I can go king f7. And then if you give a check, I come in front and then I can save myself. Should play king f4. What? No, why did you play king f4 not king f5? The king f5 to support g6. What's the king f4 for? King f4 allows knight e6. No. It's the same line as we saw earlier. Okay. What does king f4 allow? King f7, king f5. Is it king g8? King g8, king h8. Oh my god. So, but if you go king f5, if you go instead of king f4, if you go king f5 and king f7, then there's no king g6, so you can give this check and you're winning, right? Oh, she blundered right back. Alexei blundered right back, and now I think Olga can't find knight king f7. She finds king f7. It's a draw again. Is she going to be able to find it? She doesn't have much time, so let's see. She did. She found king f7. Okay, so, oh my god. What an intense finish. Oh, I was about to say, let's take, you know, let me go to try to take a break because I need to come back live in like an hour. I thought I would just go, but we would have missed this intensity. I'm glad I stayed because this is crazy. So now the game will end in a draw. Yeah, of course, you have a draw there. That's all you have, though. So king f5, very important, control g6 square. After king f4, king f7, yeah, if you give a check, king g6, you know, there's nothing else that you can do. The knight controls the entrance, and you can go try to get that pawn, but, you know, this knight will be able to be sacked for that pawn. The king gets to the corner, and it's going to be no Zugzwang or anything, like, I think, because... not this move, sorry. Here I have this check. But I don't know. Maybe you can try to do this to say I'll push, but now... Oh, no, I don't have that. What does black draw here? Maybe a4? No, because g6. Or... How does white win here? it h7. Ah, this would be the winning idea, but after h7, I think king h8. And if you play g6, now don't fall for this. Don't fall for this because you think you have mate, you know, like you think you have g7 here and something, but first of all, this is not mate because there's a pawn. Second of all, you're in check, so that's how a draw can happen. So king f, let's see, king f4, king f7, king e4, king g6, king d. Okay, the game was just drawn. The game was just drawn. What an unexpected finish to this game, wasn't it? Like, so what was the line that we're looking at? So king f5, king f7, bishop b3. This was the win, right? So then what else were we looking at? Knight f8, king f5, king g8. Yeah, g6 you can't do. Bishop b3, king h8. Yeah, if the king gets to h8, you will be able to draw. I don't know. I don't know what we do here. Maybe d3. So you can play g6. I don't know that you can put black in Zugzwang because maybe black can still go back and forth here. So that's how they will draw. You're rooting for Alexei? It's tough. Tough game. But anyways, Alexei is actually writing the recaps for this tournament every day, as far as I understand. So I posted her first recap over there. Feel free to check it out and read her thoughts about the tournament. This was an intense finish. I feel so emotional. So stressed myself. I cannot believe this was definitely a very interesting, unexpected end game. I'm very excited you guys were here. I'm very thankful for you. I need you guys to know that. And I think I need to take like a break. I need to take a break. I definitely need. I will be back in about half an hour, guys. Like, that's all I have. So I'll definitely go enjoy this half an hour. I'll probably stop the stream. I'll stop the stream for sure. In order to be able to go take a break and stretch or eat something. The energy will be useful, and we will be back. We'll be back. I'll be back in about half an hour or maybe a bit longer. I'll try to be half an hour because these games are so exciting, and I just can't wait to share them with you. So I don't know if there's anyone you want me to raid. I don't really see anyone here that I'm following that are streaming. So I might let you guys take a break too, and we will be back. I will be back in about half an hour. If you can't join, don't forget tomorrow I'll be live at 10 a.m. local time or 12 p.m. But I hope to see you in the afternoon. And I'll be here for a few good hours. We'll see you later. Have a